morning. Mr. Caravelli will begin recording. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner.
My name is Angela C. McConney, M-C-C-O-N-N-E-Y. I am a commissioner for the Massachusetts Civil Service Commission. With me today is Rob Quinan, Q-U-I-N-A-N, the General Counsel of the Commission. The time is approximately 9:30 a.m. on August 26, 2025. This first day of hearing is being held in person at the offices of the Civil Service Commission at 100 Cambridge Street in Boston, Massachusetts. Additional days of hearing are scheduled for tomorrow, August 27, 2025, and later this year on October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. I am the hearing officer for today's appeal, filed with the Civil Service Commission on March 27, 2025, and docketed as case number D1-25085. The appellant in this matter is Michael D. Proctor, P-R-O-C-T-O-R. At this time, I ask that co-counsel for Mr. Proctor please stay seated and introduce yourselves and spell your names for the record.
Good morning, Madam Commissioner. Daniel Moynihan, Attorney Daniel Moynihan on behalf of Michael Proctor.
Thank you, Mr. Moynihan.
Good morning, Commissioner. Mark Russell, M-A-R-K-R-U-S-S-E-L-L, on behalf of Michael Proctor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Russell. The respondent in this matter is the Massachusetts Department of State Police. At this time, I again ask that counsel for the department stay seated, introduce yourselves, and spell your names for the record.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Stephen Carley on behalf of the respondent, Massachusetts Department of State Police, S-T-E-P-H-E-N-C-A-R-L-E-Y.
Who is with you today, Mr. Carley?
This is my associate, Pamela Rottenberg.
Can you spell your last name for the record?
It's R-A-U-T-E-N-B-E-R-G.
Thank you, Ms. Rottenberg. Thank you, Mr. Carley.
Madam Commissioner, may I also introduce my associate,
Yes.
Zachary Green,
Thank
from
you.
our office?
And spell your last name, Mr. Green?
G-R-E-E-N.
Thank you very much, Mr. Green. This appeal was filed by the appellant pursuant to the provisions of Section 13 of Chapter 22C, which applies to the state police disciplinary matters, and Sections 41 through 45 of Chapter 31, known as the Civil Service Law. The appellant is contesting the department's decision to terminate his employment as a state trooper. Under the applicable law, the burden is on the Department of State Police to show, by a preponderance of the evidence, that the appellant engaged in misconduct that warrants discipline. If the state police meets that burden, then the burden shifts to the appellant to show why termination, as opposed to a lesser penalty, was not the appropriate level of discipline. This hearing is conducted in accordance with the standard adjudicatory rules of practice and procedure, 801 CMR, formal rules, with provisions of Chapter 31 taking precedence over any conflicting rules. Excuse me. Please give me a few minutes. Is it working?
I'm off the record, okay? To
Yes.
start.
I'm going to ask you to please stop, Mr. Cameraman.
Maybe stop this recording on WebEx and then you.
I'm so sorry that it wasn't transmitted. Ma'am, you're back on the record now.
Thank you.
So I'll begin again.
Okay, so you want me to take everything off?
Yes, we'll just
Start
begin again.
right from here.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much. All right. Good morning again. My name is Angela C. McConney, MCCONNEY. I am a commissioner for the Massachusetts Civil Service Commission. With me today is Rob Quinnen, QUINAN, the General Counsel for the Commission. Good morning. The time is approximately 9:39 a.m. on August 26, 2025. The first day of hearing is being held in person at the offices of the Civil Service Commission at 100 Cambridge Street in Boston, Massachusetts. Additional days of hearing are scheduled for tomorrow, August 27, 2025, and later this year on October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. I am the hearing officer for today's appeal, filed with the Civil Service Commission on March 27, 2025, and docketed as case number D1-25-085. The appellant in this matter is Michael D. Proctor, Proctor. At this time, I ask that co-counsel for Mr. Proctor please stay seated, introduce yourselves, and spell your names for the record.
Good morning, Madam Commissioner, Attorney Daniel Moynihan, Moynihan, on behalf of Michael Proctor.
Good morning, Attorney Mark Russell, RUSSELL, behalf of Michael Proctor.
And my name is Zachary Green, Associate for Attorney Moynihan, on behalf of Michael Proctor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moynihan, Mr. Russell, and Mr. Green. The respondent in this matter is the Massachusetts Department of State Police. At this time, I ask that counsel for the department again, please stay seated, introduce yourselves, and spell your name for the record.
Good morning, Commissioner McConney, Attorney Quinnan. My name is Stephen Carley on behalf of the respondent, Department of Massachusetts State Police, spelled STEPHENCARLEY. With me is my associate, Pamela Rattenberg.
Ma'am?
R-A-U-T-E-N-B-E-R-G.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carley and Ms. Rottenberg. This appeal was filed by the appellant pursuant to the provisions of Section 13 of Chapter 22C, which applies to state police disciplinary matters, and Sections 41 through 45 of Chapter 31, known as the Civil Service Law. The appellant is contesting the department's decision to terminate his employment as a state trooper. Under the applicable law, the burden is on the Department of State Police to show by a preponderance of the evidence that the appellant engaged in misconduct that warrants discipline. If the state police meets that burden, then the burden shifts to the appellant to show why termination, as opposed to a lesser penalty, was not the appropriate level of discipline. This hearing is conducted in accordance with the standard adjudicatory rules of practice and procedure, 801 CMR 1.01, formal rules, with provisions of Chapter 31 taking precedence over any conflicting rules. To ensure clarity, this is not a jury trial. This is an administrative hearing being conducted by a hearing officer. As such, it is my responsibility to make rulings on the admissibility of evidence and then determine what weight, if any, that evidence deserves, and to make credibility assessments as necessary regarding the witnesses that appear before me. Pursuant to Section 43 of Chapter 31, the Commission has deemed this a public hearing, while reserving the right to close portions of the hearing if warranted. Members of the public are present in the courtroom today, as well as an adjacent overflow room where the hearing can be viewed live. The media has been permitted to set up a pool camera for audio, video, broadcasting, and recording. Prior to the hearing, the media and public have been provided with a summary of hearing room protocols that must be adhered to at all times. This hearing is also being audio and video recorded by the Commission via the WebEx platform. A court reporter is also present to transcribe the hearings, and that transcription will be the official record of this hearing. At the conclusion of this proceeding later this year, the parties will be given the opportunity to submit post-hearing briefs, at which time the record will close. Any final decision issued by the Commission regarding this appeal will be sent to the parties via email only. The Commission's decision will also be published on the Commission's public website at mass.gov/CSC. All final adjudicatory decisions of the Commission are subject to judicial appeal under Chapter 30A of the General Laws. Before we begin, a few housekeeping matters. First, in a final ruling sent to the parties yesterday, and after considering the objections of both parties, I have entered into evidence 36 exhibits from the Department of State Police and 58 exhibits from the appellant. As those exhibits have already been entered into evidence, there is no need to request that they be entered prior to referencing them at today's hearing. Second, I accepted the department's participant list, indicating that the department at this time has only one witness, and we will hear from him shortly. The department has committed to completing direct examination of this witness today. It is the Commission's expectation that the appellant will complete cross-examination tomorrow, with the option of recalling this witness in October if necessary. I urge counsel for both parties to use your time wisely and make adjustments accordingly as the day goes on to ensure conformance with these time allocations. Third, I hereby order the sequestration of witnesses. Any individual who is a potential witness in this matter may not attend or view any part of this proceeding until the conclusion of their testimony. Fourth, counsel for both parties have been allotted 15 minutes for opening statements. Since the audio is being captured by the table microphones, I'm asking counsel as well as witnesses to please stay seated while speaking, to speak loudly and clearly, and avoid any crosstalk. Please allow questions to be completed before objecting. At this time, I ask that counsel for the Department of State Police proceed with an opening statement, to be followed by an opening statement by counsel for the appellant. I would ask Mr. Quinnen to please keep the time.
Commissioner McCartney, may I just make a statement for the record regarding procedure?
Is this something separate from the motions that I allowed yesterday?
No, yes, it is. Yes.
Can this wait until after openings?
It can. It concerns the sequestration order.
If anyone is going to testify, or you think they will, they shouldn't be in this room.
No, the difficulty is the fact that we're here at the request of the commission to start this process today, despite the fact that we're awaiting discovery from the department, as you know. And we don't know who all our witnesses.
One at a time, please.
Yes, if I'm speaking, don't speak.
Sorry.
That's quite simple, first of all, for decorum. If you have anyone who is a potential witness, they should not be in this room. That's all I can say.
And because we don't have our discovery, we don't know at this point who all of our witnesses
Sir,
are.
I can't advise you how to conduct your case.
I'm sorry?
I can't advise you how to conduct your case. Mr. Carley, can you please proceed?
Thank you, Commissioner McCartney and Attorney Quinnen. Distasteful, unprofessional, inappropriate, in poor taste, juvenile, sexist, disgusting, dehumanizing. This selection of words does not come from a public comment section on a website, an op-ed columnist, or a protester outside the Norfolk County Courthouse. No, indeed, one would be forgiven for not immediately recognizing that these words are Michael Proctor's accounting of his own conduct in this case. Conduct in which Michael Proctor, tasked with the immense responsibility of acting as case officer for the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe, consumed alcohol and then operated his cruiser while on duty, released confidential information to individuals outside of law enforcement, and called suspect and eventual defendant Karen Reed a babe, a nutbag, retarded, a whack job. She's got a leaky balloon knot, leaks poo, a woman who shits herself with no ass. She's fucked. A cunt. As a result, the department brought forward 4 separate specifications within 2 types of charges for internal discipline. And in March, Colonel Noble terminated Michael Proctor's employment. In support of the just cause for doing so, beginning today, the department presents for your consideration its evidence of the appellant's guilt under the charges and specifications described as follows. Charge 1, Specification 1, unsatisfactory performance, sending derogatory, defamatory, disparaging, and inappropriate text messages about a suspect. Charge 1, Specification 2, unsatisfactory performance, provision of sensitive and confidential information about a homicide victim, potential witnesses, and potential investigative steps to non-law enforcement personnel. Charge 1, Specification 3, unsatisfactory performance, through unprofessional and inappropriate conduct, created an image that he was biased and brought himself and Massachusetts State Police into disrepute. And finally, Charge 2, Specification 1, consumption of alcoholic beverages while eating dinner on duty and then operating his department-issued cruiser. The department's defense of the just cause of the adverse employment action against Michael Proctor will be based entirely upon the evidence of his conduct, his violations of those specifications under our Article 5. To prove this case here in this de novo proceeding, the department will call OPIA Detective Lieutenant Kevin Dwyer, who was assigned an investigation initiated by DIS Commander Lieutenant Colonel Brian Connors. In addition to the testimony of Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, the department has submitted and has been entered into evidence for your review and consideration those 36 exhibits, demonstrating by a preponderance of the evidence that Colonel Noble had just cause to terminate Michael Proctor's employment. You will hear of Detective Lieutenant Dwyer's collection and assessment of the records of the appellant's misconduct, first brought to light in excruciating detail during 2 days of his public testimony at the homicide trial in Norfolk Superior Court on June 10th and 12th of 2024. You will have the opportunity to hear the appellant read in his own voice his vile, misogynistic statements against the woman accused of and tried for the death of Officer O'Keefe. You will have the opportunity to hear his revelations to high school friends and members of his family of the identity of the victim, his views on and details of the crime, the manner of the victim's death, the witnesses to be interviewed, and the direction of that investigation, some made under 24 hours of the discovery of Officer O'Keefe's body. You will hear his own characterizations of his conduct that I quoted to you before. And you will hear his admissions under Charge 2 that while he was on duty, he consumed 1 to 2 beers with an officer from Canton Police and then drove the 2 of them home. You will be given, in addition to the video recordings of that public testimony, transcripts of the appellant's own words for your review and reference, a summary of Detective Lieutenant Dwyer of his misconduct, of Michael Proctor's misconduct as revealed during the trial, pay station, administrative duty roster, and AVL data collected by Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, corroborating the appellant's account of his alcohol consumption while on duty, the statements and admissions by the appellant at his OPIA interview, and Detective Lieutenant Dwyer's conclusions therefrom, as well as the criminal trial exhibits themselves containing the appellant's messages. You will also have available for your consideration the findings and resulting recommendation of the department's internal trial board, as well as the limited selection of public reaction to the revelations of the appellant's behavior. Relevant portions of an interview he gave to ABC News following his termination, and an order from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office for him to turn over as discoverable statements in a criminal prosecution under Rule 14 the content of his communications from his personal cell phone. The department expects that much by way of distraction will also be on offer in the days to come, in the form of dubious and flimsy comparisons, whataboutisms reflecting the choices of others, spurious emotional appeals to the absolutely real difficulties experienced by members assigned to a homicide investigation, and insinuations that written statements by a case officer regarding his own investigation are somehow private or out of bounds. In short, the department expects an appeal not based on the truth, but on evading accountability. The department respectfully asks that this commission, while receiving those distractions or attempts at same, keep in mind the evidence and the facts that are the basis for the department's case. It respectfully asks you to bear in mind that no one committed the acts for which he was terminated other than Michael Proctor alone. No one authorized his communications of sensitive and confidential case information about an active homicide investigation to others outside of law enforcement. No one forced or cajoled or even requested him to engage in such gratuitous behavior. And that Michael Proctor himself has admitted, as evidently he must, that his conduct was unprofessional, inappropriate, juvenile, sexist, disgusting, and dehumanizing. And that he has admitted that he in fact committed the acts exactly as described in the charges brought against him. Accordingly, at the conclusion of this hearing, the department expects to meet its burden, showing just cause, and will therefore ask this commission to uphold the termination of Michael Proctor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carl. Mr. Monahan?
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, Commissioner McCoy, Mr. Queenan. We're here today to hear evidence presented by the Department of State Police, which it believes amounts to just cause for the termination of Michael Proctor. Due to the fact that we continue to await discovery from the department, you will not hear a presentation of evidence by Michael Proctor today or tomorrow. You won't hear about his presentation of our evidence until October. Nevertheless, we will, through cross-examination, get to the truth behind this case. And the truth is that as of February 1st, 2024, Michael Proctor was an exemplary member of the Mass State Police. He had served in that capacity for 12 solid years without any discipline. He had risen to the level of the ranks of detective for the Norfolk County DA's office as a young trooper and served in the role as detective and was a very well-respected member of that unit. As of January 29th of 22, Michael Proctor, a fairly new detective in the DA's office, was asked to become the case officer on the Karen Reed case. You will hear what his duties were as case officer, and you will hear all that he was not responsible for as case officer in this case. Now, as we all know, Karen Reed was arrested, she was indicted by a grand jury, and she was tried twice by the Norfolk County DA's office from 2022 through 2024. In the early part of late 2023 or early 24, the defense in the Karen Reed case convinced the U.S. Attorney's Office to open an investigation into a theory of a grand conspiracy against Ms. Reed on the part of law enforcement and others. You will hear that Michael Proctor was asked to testify in the federal grand jury proceeding as a witness only on February 1st, 2024. And when he appeared, he was shocked to discover that the U.S. Attorney had somehow infiltrated his personal cell phone and surreptitiously obtained personal text messages on his personal cell phone. Now, we all have personal cell phones. We all have expectations of privacy on those personal cell phones. On February 1st of 24, Michael Proctor suddenly found in his mind that his privacy was violated. Since the disclosure of these text messages, the world has changed. Law enforcement officers and people in all walks of life now shudder at the thought that a federal agency could infiltrate their personal phone and look at text messages, personal text messages on a personal phone to family members and friends. Michael Proctor has reacted to this unlike many other people would. Michael Proctor has never denied the authenticity of these text messages. He's never denied that they are inappropriate, unprofessional, derogatory, sexist, misogynistic. Despite the fact that he's never, to this day, received the full text threads numbering hundreds of thousands of dollars that the U.S. Attorney's Office obtained. And despite the fact that he still doesn't know why his personal cell phone was infiltrated. Michael has repeatedly apologized for making crude remarks, unprofessional remarks, juvenile remarks. We could come up with many other adjectives that Michael has admitted to. He has never backed away from apologizing for these outright unprofessional and, I'll call them stupid, text messages on his personal cell phone spoken to his buddies from childhood. Instead of backing away, what did Michael Proctor do? Well, the next day, he self-reported this information to his bosses at the Mass State Police. He reported the full context of these text messages to the Mass State Police, despite the fact that there's no existing Mass State policy concerning a trooper's personal text messages or personal private conversations on a personal cell phone. He reported it immediately. From that point, you'll hear evidence of what happened next and what didn't happen next in the ensuing 5 months and up till March of 25 when Michael was terminated by the department. You will hear of a meeting which was initiated by Michael and his then counsel on February 1st of 24, February 8th of 24, I'm sorry, wherein the content of these text messages was disclosed to the legal staff of the Mass State Police, as well as high-ranking members of the Mass State Police. You will hear that the Mass State Police assured Michael Proctor that not much would come of this, and that he may receive a letter of counseling as a result, or a written reprimand, and that the colonel and the command staff expressed appreciation for him immediately reporting these text messages to them. You'll hear of a separate investigation done by the department in April of 24, wherein the nature of Michael's relationships, alleged relationships with witnesses was investigated, and the issue of bias was investigated, and their findings were negative. You will hear that Michael Proctor remained on full duty from February 2nd, when he first disclosed, until July 1st, which is coincidentally the date of the Karen Reed mistrial. You'll hear that after that mistrial, that unfortunate date for Mike Proctor, July 1st of 24, the witch hunt for Michael Proctor began. He was relieved of duty within hours after that mistrial. You'll hear a press release from the colonel at the time, who stated, quote, "Upon learning today's result, Michael Proctor was relieved of duty." You'll hear of intense political scrutiny, intense media pressure to fire Michael Proctor. You'll hear that this termination was not based on actual facts and evidence. Instead, it was a decision made to appease politicians and to appease some vocal members of the public and the media. You'll hear of the so-called internal trial board process of the Mass State Police and how flawed that process is and how unfair it is and lacking in due process. You'll hear that despite the flawed process of that internal trial board, this decision to fire Mike Proctor was made on July 1st of 24, within hours after that mistrial. Most important, you'll hear evidence from the trial board in this hearing that Michael Proctor's personal feelings did not influence the evidence in the Reed case. Michael Proctor did not act with the intent to affect the outcome of this investigation. You'll hear that there's no evidence to show that the integrity of the investigation in the Reed case was compromised. In other words, the personal cell phone text did not affect his performance of his police duties. And that the Mass State Police investigation into Michael was solely about personal cell phone messages and not about his job performance in the investigation. And that the charge of unsatisfactory performance of his duties is a misplaced charge. It's a charge that was designed as a Class A offense simply to appease the masses and fire Mike Proctor. In summary, Mike Proctor was a very good trooper, an exemplary trooper, a detective who has been made to be a scapegoat as a result of the Mass State Police caving in to public pressure. Michael Proctor did not commit a crime. Michael Proctor did not violate any specific policy prohibiting personal conduct on a personal phone, because there is no specific policy. Those are two very important facts to remember in this case. Does his unprofessional conduct on his personal phone possibly warrant some discipline? Probably. Unbecoming conduct, possibly. In October, we will demonstrate, when we have our discovery, that the termination of Mike Proctor, the firing of Michael Proctor after 12 exemplary years, does not comport with previous standards of discipline for the Mass State Police, and that is disproportionate with discipline meted out by the state police over the years. Michael Proctor should not be subject to the whims of politics or the whims of the media. He should obtain a fair hearing on the merits, and we expect to obtain that fair hearing through this process. No one should be unjustifiably pushed aside from his job simply because an organization wants to satisfy an agenda. And that's what happened here, folks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Whitehead. I'll to issue a supplementary ruling on your earlier request about the sequestration order. I understand it's a long time from now to October 21st. I will be asking each witness in October if they have previously observed any part of this proceeding. If they're answering the affirmative, I reserve the right to take that into account in my fact finding. Also, any individual, however, who anticipates being called as a witness should not be watching today's proceedings.
May I?
Yes.
My only concern, Commissioner McCartney, is that many of the witnesses on our pre-hearing list are not under our control. They're state police employees, number one. So we don't have authority to tell them not to watch this proceeding. Number two, after we obtain discovery in mid-September, we may have additional witnesses who we just don't know about yet.
All right. Like I said, as I just stated, I will ask each person before they testify. All right.
Thank you.
And again, I'll take that into account.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So at this time, Mr. Carlin, did you call your first witness?
Thank you, Commissioner. The respondent calls Kevin Dwyer.
Right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you are about to give to the Civil Service Commission is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. I would just like to impart some information to you. First of all, that your testimony is being recorded, and both parties will receive a copy of the recorded testimony. Your testimony included the decision issued by the Civil Service Commission in this matter, which we posted on the Commission's website. I may make credibility assessments about your testimony, which may also be included in the Commission decision. Please listen to the questions carefully and answer only the questions that are asked of you. If you cannot hear the question, you may ask for it repeated. If you do not know the answer to a question, you should state that. it is important not to guess or speculate. Speak slowly, clearly, and loud enough so that your testimony can be captured on the recording. Please avoid any crosstalk by waiting for the question to be asked before you answer. And if there are any objections, please wait for my ruling before answering the question. And again, if you turn your body away, you'll miss the recording, so please face forward and speak into the microphone at all times. Thank you very much. Mr. Carley?
Thank you again, Commissioner. Good morning, sir. Good morning. In a loud, clear voice, could you please state your full name and spell your last?
Detective Lieutenant Kevin Dwyer, D-W-Y-E-R.
You're employed by the department?
I am.
How long have you worked with the state police, sir?
Over 20 years.
And what is your, well, you mentioned your rank. What is your current assignment, sir?
I'm assigned to the Office of Professional Integrity and Accountability.
And could you please briefly describe to the commission your duties and responsibilities in your current assignment?
My current responsibilities are as an internal affairs investigator.
All right. And do you have training and experience specifically with respect to OPIA investigations?
I do.
Can you summarize any training or experience you have in that regard, sir?
Yes, I've attended multiple trainings on internal affairs investigations, plus my experience in the unit for almost 5 years.
I'd like to draw your attention, sir, to the time frame of March of 2024. Did you have occasion to receive an order to open an investigation into alleged misconduct by Michael Proctor?
I did.
What specifically was your role in that investigation, sir?
As the primary investigator.
All right. And how did you specifically come to be assigned to that particular investigation?
I was summoned to a meeting where I was told the allegations.
And coming out of that meeting, was the investigation into, or the investigation that you ultimately conducted, was it assigned a number by the Office of Professional Integrity? And
Yes, it was.
What was the number, sir?
It was IAS 2024-0014.
And how was it formally initiated? How was the investigation formally brought into existence?
There was a request for investigation that was authored by Lieutenant Colonel Connors.
All right, sir. And if you could turn in your binder, please, to Respondent's Exhibit 1. Just have a look at Exhibit 1, please. Is Exhibit 1, as before you, sir, is that the personnel investigation or the order to initiate the personnel investigation from Lieutenant Colonel Connors that you just referenced?
It is.
All right. And did you ultimately have occasion to organize, author, and submit a report and several exhibits documenting your findings in this investigation?
I did.
And as part of those exhibits, did you include a copy of Lieutenant Colonel Connors' request for investigation dated March 4th as your Exhibit 1 to your report?
I did.
Now, following up on Exhibit 1, in the body of the document, Lieutenant Colonel Connors references a criminal investigation. Is that correct, sir?
He did.
Would that be the criminal homicide prosecution of Karen Reed into the death of Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe?
Yes, it was.
Fair to say that Officer O'Keefe's body was located on January 29th, 2022 at a residence in Canton?
Yes.
And as specified by the general laws, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, and specifically the department members who are assigned there, they're assigned to lead that investigation?
Yes, they are.
And the case officer for that particular investigation was Michael Proctor, is that not so?
Yes, sir.
Now, at a certain point during that investigation and prosecution, did some information come to light about a related federal proceeding?
Yes, it did.
How did you describe that in your report, sir?
The department was notified by the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office that they were advised by the U.S. Attorney's Office that there was a federal invest that involved Trooper Proctor.
Okay. And how did the notification that came to the department that you just described, the notification from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, how did that notification take place?
It was a verbal notification.
All right. And at the time the verbal notification was made, was there any documentation provided by either Norfolk County or by the U.S. Attorney's Office regarding that investigation?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay. And did Norfolk County provide any other details about that federal investigation at that time, sir?
None that I'm aware of.
All right. At some point, was it disclosed that Michael Proctor had had his personal cell phone examined, and that there were text messages of a derogatory and defamatory nature about Ms. Reed on that cell phone found.
Yes.
What, if any, effort did the department make around that time to learn more about those text messages?
To my understanding, there were multiple conversations amongst the department and the federal authorities to get more information. I don't believe they were very successful.
All right. And that was a decision made, as far as you're aware, by the federal authorities?
Correct.
Did the federal authorities place any conditions on the department with regard to this investigation?
Yes.
What conditions, sir?
Anyone that was advised of the existence of the text messages had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
As far as you're aware, were there any exceptions to that requirement to sign the non-disclosure agreement set by the federal authorities?
No.
What, if any, official actions did the department take with respect to Michael Proctor as a result of verbal notification from Norfolk County?
Personal invest was started.
In effect, the oral or verbal disclosure from Norfolk County is what triggered the request for investigation.
It is, yes.
Is that accurate, sir?
Yes.
As part of the standard practice and required by department procedure and the collective bargaining agreement, was a subject notification letter issued to Michael Proctor?
Yes, it was.
Who first issued that and when, sir?
Detective Lieutenant John Goslin on March 4th.
Just say that again.
It was Detective Lieutenant John Goslin, and that was sent on March 4th, 2024.
Was Lieutenant Colonel Connor's request for investigation attached to that subject notification letter?
It was.
And initially, among other copied recipients, was that notification also sent to Trooper David Stewart as the spam representative?
Yes.
And did you ultimately attach a copy of that notification dated March 4th to your report in this case?
I did.
And did you attach it as Exhibit 2 to your report?
Yes.
Could you turn to Exhibit 2 for the respondent's exhibits in this proceeding, please? Right, sir. Do you have Exhibit 2 in front of you?
I do.
Is this the Exhibit 2, the same Exhibit 2 that you attached to your report?
Yes.
The subject notification letter and the request for investigation or request to initiate an investigation that you made your Exhibit 2?
Yes.
All right. And Detective Lieutenant, was there a typographical or stenographic error in that exhibit when it was first issued?
Yes, there was.
What was the error, sir?
It incorrectly named who wrote the request for invest.
And did the department issue an amended notification letter?
Yes.
What was the date of the amended notification?
March 19th, 2024.
All right. And did you ultimately attach that as Exhibit 3 to your report?
I did.
Did you turn to Exhibit 3 for today's proceedings? Do you recognize Exhibit 3, sir?
Yes,
And is that the same Exhibit 3 that you attached to your report in this case?
it is.
All right, sir. This amended notification, it correctly identified the author of the request for the investigation as Lieutenant Colonel Connors?
Yes, sir.
And was it provided to, this particular one, provided to, among others, Michael Proctor's spam representative, Sergeant Christopher Johnson?
Yes.
Now, sir, in addition to the information provided from Norfolk County about these alleged improper text messages from Michael Proctor, were there also additional concerns raised with respect to him and witnesses in the O'Keefe investigation?
Yes, there was.
Could you just generally describe, sir, for context and the Commission's benefit, what were the concerns that you were made aware of?
There was concern that Trooper Proctor had a relationship with some of the potential witnesses in the investigation.
All right, sir. Did those concerns constitute any portion of your investigation into Michael Proctor's misconduct, meaning specifically OPIA case 2024-001?
It did not.
Okay. What, if anything, to your knowledge, did the department do regarding those concerns?
There was a separate inquiry done to determine the nature of Trooper Proctor's possible relationships.
And was that documented separately by separate investigators within the department?
Yes.
And was that given internal personnel investigation number DIS-4?
Yes, it was.
All right, sir. In your ultimate report in this case, IAS 2024-0014, did you ultimately note in general what you learned about that separate investigation?
Yes.
Okay, can you summarize what you conveyed in your report, please, for the commission, sir?
So it was learned, while Trooper Proctor may have known some of the witnesses, the relationships were not substantial, and they were consistent with how he had represented them.
All right, sir. Given what you understood about that investigation, and given the consistency that you mentioned with regard to his statements about those relationships and them being not substantial in nature, did any suggestion of misconduct on that matter have any impact on your findings, investigation, or recommendations in IAS 2024-0014?
No.
Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, I'd now like to ask you about your review of evidence regarding Michael Proctor and the text messages in particular. To begin, when did you first learn of or have made available to you the substance of the messages that were the focus of your investigation?
When Trooper Proctor testified in the criminal trial.
All right, sir. And on what day or days did he testify in the trial that you just mentioned?
June 10th and June 12th, 2024.
Up to that point, the department did not have any documentation nor admissions from Michael Proctor regarding the content of the disclosure of his, the content of his personal self.
Correct.
And how did you personally observe the open proceedings in the Reed prosecution?
I watched a live stream of the trial.
And did that trial begin on or about April 29th of 2024 in Norfolk Superior Court?
Yes.
All right. And the live stream that you viewed, what live stream did you view, sir?
It was the Court TV live stream.
Was there any testimony, you mentioned June 10th and June 12th of 2024, was there any testimony on June 11th?
No, there was not.
All right. And as part of your investigation, were you able to obtain copies of the video broadcast from both June 10th and June 12th for inclusion in your ultimate report?
I did.
And were those copies of the video recordings ultimately made exhibits 4 and 6 respectively to your report?
Yes.
All right. I'll note for the record that exhibits 4 and 6 to the witness's report are reproduced as exhibits 4 and 6 in the respondent's exhibits here today. In addition to the previous exhibits that I just mentioned of the video broadcast footage, did you also have occasion to obtain any transcripts of those same 2 days of trial testimony?
Yes.
And specifically the testimony of Michael Proctor, those the transcripts focusing on his testimony?
I did.
Okay. And did those ultimately become exhibits 5 and 7 respectively to your report?
They did.
All right. I'll note for the record that those exhibits are attached as 5 and 7 to the exhibits here today. Thank you. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, did you also personally take notes during your viewing of trial footage in conjunction with the transcripts of the video? Did you also take notes on the content of Michael Proctor's testimony?
I did.
All right, sir. And did you include the substance of those notes as part of your report in this case?
I did.
And did you ultimately attach those notes to your report as Exhibit 8?
Yes, I did.
All right, sir. Could you carefully, and it's a number of pages, but could you go to Exhibit 8, please, sir? You have Exhibit 8 in front of you, sir?
I do.
All right, sir. The Exhibit 8 that's in front of you, these are your notes from reviewing Michael Proctor's live testimony in the Karen Reed, the first Karen Reed trial.
They are.
And they are the same as the Exhibit 8 that's in front of you as part of the respondent set of exhibits.
Yes.
All right, sir. Now, I'm jumping around a little bit, but please bear with me. I'd like to ask you about Exhibit 18 to today's proceedings. All right, sir. You've had a chance to take a look at what's before you in the printout copy of Exhibit 18 from today.
Yes, sir.
Is that a copy of the ultimate report that you authored and submitted in this case as the conclusions of your investigations, the findings and conclusions of your investigations in IAS 2024-0014?
It is.
All right. All right, I'd like to ask you now a series of questions about the categories of allegations. Do you have a portion of your report that sets out the allegations into separate categories or organized by letter?
I do.
Okay. And would that be categories A through K, allegations A through K?
Yes, they would.
All right, sir. Please turn to date stamp Respondent 504. That would be the 14th page of Exhibit 18. You have 504?
I do, yes.
Before I ask you about this in detail, sir, is it fair to say that on the beginning of this page, that is Respondent's 504, and continuing on to the last, the 15th page of your report, Respondent's 505, you specify here, a series of categories of different but related allegations, the A through K that I mentioned.
Correct.
And in fact, those 11 set of allegations, did you personally review and assess each allegation of misconduct and issue a separate recommendation as to each?
I did.
And the separate recommendations that you ultimately issued were either sustained, not sustained, or exonerated based on the evidence as you found it?
Correct.
The allegation you assigned to letter A, sir, that concerned the claim that between January 29th, 2022 and February 1st of 2022, Michael Proctor provided information about a homicide victim to non-law enforcement personnel?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation A based on your investigation?
Sustained.
The allegation you assigned letter B, sir, that concerned the claim that between January 29th, 2022 and February 1st of 2022, Michael Proctor provided information about potential witnesses in a homicide investigation to non-law enforcement personnel?
I did, yes.
And what was your ultimate recommendation as to allegation B, sir?
Sustained.
The allegation you assigned letter C, did that concern the claim between January 29th, 2022 and June 9th, 2022? Michael Proctor provided information about potential investigative steps and police actions related to a homicide investigation to non-law enforcement personnel?
It did.
What was your what was your recommendation as to allegation C, sir?
Sustained.
Allegation you assigned letter D, did that concern the claim that between January 29th, 2022 and June 9th, 2022, Michael Proctor sent derogatory, defamatory, and/or disparaging text messages to non-law enforcement personnel about a suspect in a homicide investigation?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation D?
Sustained.
Allegation you assigned letter E, sir, did that concern the claim that on February 1st, 2022, Michael Proctor engaged in behavior to accept a reward, gift, or gratuity on account of his official services?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation E?
Not sustained.
The allegation you assigned letter F, sir, did that concern the claim that on dates between June 9th, 2022 and August 17th, 2022, Michael Proctor sent derogatory, defamatory, and disparaging text messages about a suspect in a homicide investigation to other law enforcement personnel?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation F?
Sustained.
As to assignment, allegation assigned letter G, sir, did that concern the claim that on August 17th, 2022, Michael Proctor looked for nude photographs of a suspect in the homicide investigation?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation G?
Not sustained.
Just few more, sir. Allegation, you assigned letter H. Did that concern the claim that on July 19, 2022, Michael Proctor consumed alcohol while on duty?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation H?
Sustained.
Allegation assigned letter I. Did that concern the claim that on July 19, 2022, Michael Proctor consumed alcohol and then operated his department-issued cruiser?
It did.
What was your recommendation as to allegation I?
Sustained.
Allegation assigned letter J, sir. Did that concern the claim that on July 19, 2022, Michael Proctor received overtime pay while not engaging in official duties?
Yes.
What was your recommendation as to allegation J?
Exonerated.
Finally, sir, the allegation assigned by you, letter K, did that concern the claim that on dates between January 29, 2022 and August 17, 2022, Michael Proctor engaged in behavior that brought himself and the department into disrepute?
It did, yes.
And what was your recommendation as to allegation K?
Sustained.
For the benefit of the commission, Madam Commissioner, may I just note for the record that I'll be shortly, in a few moments, referring to clip number 1 from our exhibit number 4.
Yes.
So if I could just notify the commission of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, I'm now going to ask you a series of questions about each of the allegations that you assigned those different letters. Is it fair to say that as to allegation categories A, B, and C, Michael Proctor's communications to others took place on several different text message chains that you previously mentioned, one with a group of friends and another with his sister?
Yes.
All right. And it's also fair to say that from your review of the evidence and the messages from Michael Proctor under categories A, B, and C, his testimony about that began, excuse me, my apologies, I'll restart that question. Is it fair to say from your review of the evidence that the messages pertaining to allegation categories A, B, and C, those messages began by Michael Proctor on the day that Officer O'Keefe's body was discovered, January 29, 2022?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that his testimony at the Carey Reed trial as to categories A, B, and C, chronologically speaking, his testimony began on June 10th, 2024, under direct examination from the prosecutor?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to direct your attention to the video. Madam Commissioner, may we have clip number 1, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
And again, I'll advise everyone, please do not speak while the video is being shared.
Madam Commissioner, could you pause, please? Just for the record, I wanted to note, for the record, this clip begins as part of Respondent's Exhibit 4, the video from June 10th, 2024, at approximately 5 hours, 24 minutes, and 21 seconds into that video.
Can you please repeat the timing again?
Yes, my apologies, Madam Commissioner. 5 hours, 24 minutes, and 21 seconds approximately is the beginning of this particular clip. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, before I ask the clip to be played, is it fair to say that this is the start of his testimony regarding the text message chain with friends in which he reveals the identity and other details of the reported homicide victim, Officer John O'Keefe?
Yes, I believe so.
With the Commission's permission, I'd ask now to please play this beginning, again, at the timestamp I previously referenced. For Council's reference, the corresponding transcript pages begin Exhibit 5, Respondents, page 95.
So I'll just play this clip from the beginning.
Yes, please. Thank you,
Correct,
Madam
the
Commissioner.
correct time. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
It's a text message thread labeled Proctor Friends.
Now, over the course of your investigation, over the course of this case, you're aware that there were iCloud data that was obtained from your personal cell phone.
Yes.
And different text strings from that iCloud data from your personal cell phone, correct?
Correct.
And with respect to what has just been placed before you, is that an excerpt or piece from those particular messages?
It is.
And from the front page of that, can you tell the jury who are sort of the participants in this particular text communication?
There's several numbers that aren't identified. The three that are under kind of nicknames me and my buddies have for each other.
And generally speaking, just as far as the participants in this text communication, who are these people to you, and how do you know them? How long have you known them? Who are they?
The members on this text thread are close friends from junior high, first grade even.
So people you've known for years, is that correct?
Correct.
And do each of them live, or do any of them live within the general area at this time?
Some of them do, yes.
And so when some of them do, some of them do not, is that correct?
Correct.
And the ones that do not, how far away do they live?
As far away as Tennessee.
Now, with reference,
Thank you, Madam.
to this, there's an indication as far as the first message sent or last message sent from this particular text chain, correct?
Mr. Carter, I'm so sorry for that interruption, and also Lieutenant Warren. Do you want me to begin again in the beginning, or are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable proceeding,
Okay.
if the commission's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, repeat the question, please.
Sort of towards the middle of the first page, I'll direct your attention to that area. Is there any indication as far as the first message sent and the last message sent with respect to this text chain?
On the first page, yes.
And what is indicated as far as the first message and the last message?
The first message is I need to brandish a gun more often. The last is Chip, name of that BPD cop.
No, I'm sorry, sir. If I could direct your attention to the first page of this packet, page 2527, you see conversation details. Sorry, may I go?
Yes.
My congratulations, sir. Right.
Okay,
You see what I was talking about now?
I do, sir.
And from that area labeled conversation details, there's a first message sent, date and time, and the last message sent, date and time, correct?
Yes.
What is the first message sent, date and time?
It's 10/18 of 2021 at 8:48 a.m. The last message sent is 8/31/2022 at 11:19 p.m.
And is there also within that conversation details an indication as far as the number of messages over that time frame within this communication?
There is.
And what does it list for number of messages?
It's 38,707.
It's fair to say the packet that you have before you does not contain all 38,707 messages, correct?
That's correct.
The first message that you had, I believe, alluded to in reference to the first one listed within this communication. What date and time is that?
That was January 29th, 2022 at 10:36 p.m.
And who is that message from?
My friend who lives in Tennessee.
And what, if anything, did he send to
I need to brandish again more often.
And if you know, what is that in reference to?
He just recently moved to Tennessee, and he was kind of, I think, making a joke as kind of the lifestyle down there where guns are more prominent or more common to be carried around there. So I interpreted that as a joke in that nature.
And the next message, sir, from that same page, 2527.
The next one is, it's bold.
And is there a name associated with that number that's in these?
No,
Do you know who that person is?
I don't.
And the next message, sir,
Yeah.
from 10:52 p.m.
Chip, name of that BPD cop.
And Chip, who is that referring to, sir?
That is one of my nicknames I've had since maybe high school.
A nickname that would be familiar amongst these group of friends in particular?
Yes.
And this time period when these text messages begin, sometime after 10:30 or 10:50 p.m. on January 29th, where are you and what are you doing in reference around that time period?
At this point in time, on the 29th, I'm home.
And that last text message, do you respond to that at approximately 10:53 p.m.?
Yes.
And what was your response?
John O'Keefe.
And the next message down from there, also at 10:53 p.m.?
Yes. He took custody of his sister's kids.
That's your response. There is another response above that, is that correct?
Yes.
And what does that say?
How old?
And you respond as far as he took custody of his sister's kids, correct?
Correct.
Skipping down a couple, do you see an entry at 10:53:49 p.m.?
Yes.
And that's from a 617 number, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is the response there?
Oh man, that's rough.
And following that, do you respond to the earlier query as far as age?
I do.
And what did you say?
Mid-40s.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. For the record,
Sir.
oh, I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
You can proceed. Sorry, it takes a while to bring it back.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner, understood completely. For the record, that was played, that portion of Exhibit 4, the video from June 10th, 2024, was played until approximately 5 hours, 30 minutes, and 50 seconds. Madam Commissioner, may I have clip 2, please, from Exhibit 4? council's benefit, this begins at the transcript for Exhibit 5, base stamped respondents 1 and 3.
Again, counsel, while I'm playing with this, if you're speaking, it's gonna get picked up on the recording, if you're speaking during the recording.
Okay.
So you wouldn't want the microphone, but it'll be recorded.
And top of the page, sir, if you could read through that page as far as who's texting and what are they saying?
Again, for my friend from Tennessee and myself, I hope not, but I can't see it. I responded with, she waffled him. I looked at his body at the hospital. He,
So I'm gonna have to begin at it, I don't see it sharing on my screen. Sorry about that.
And top of the page, sir, if you could read through that page as far as who's texting and what are they saying?
again, for my friend from Tennessee and myself, I hope not, but I can't see it. I responded with, she waffled him. I looked at his body at the hospital. He was banged up.
Now, as far as the next text from a 781 number,
mhm.
what does that say?
Did he get beat up?
And you responded to that, is that correct?
I did.
The objection sustained as to time.
What, if any, response did you provide them?
Nope.
Objection was to the former question and answer.
I'll strike it.
Now, turning your attention to 2534. And from this page, sir, if you could again just read through as far as indicating to the jury who's speaking and what is being said.
From the start of the first text, so the owner of the house?
Yes.
So the owner of the house was a woman cop that beat him? That's what I initially thought after talking to Can paramedic. Then I saw the guy.
And those last two are your responses, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, the following text messages are from your friends, is that correct?
Yes.
What are they saying?
Here, let's focus. What does she waffle to mean? What's the story? I responded, she hit him with her car.
And the she that you're referring to there, who is that?
Ms. Reed.
Thank you. For the record, the video clip 2 that was just played was from Exhibit 4, beginning at approximately 5 hours, 53 minutes, and 18 seconds, until approximately 5 hours, 55 minutes, and 21 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, fair to say that concluded Michael Proctor's testimony as to allegations A, B, and C with regard to June 10th, his testimony on June 10th, and he did not testify on those subjects again until June 12th.
Correct.
May I please have clip 3 now, Commissioner?
Trooper Proctor, I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind to turn to tab 2 in the binder in front of you. Can you take a look at the face page of what's under tab 2 and tell me if you recognize that?
Yes, sir. It's a private text thread with high school friends.
And this includes 9 participants, 9 chat participants that you engaged with?
That's correct.
Those participants include people by the name of Bird, Whitey, and Duck, correct?
Correct.
And then there's some other folks in there that are identified by at least the last 4 digits of their phone number, correct?
Yes.
So this is a group text or a group chat with you and 8 of your high school friends about this investigation, correct?
Yes.
Trooper Proctor, you never thought when you were engaged with these other 8 individuals that this particular set of chats would ever become public, did you?
No, I did not.
I want to take a look at page 2527, if you could turn, that's on the bottom right of the document in tab 2. Do you recognize, do you have that page in front of you?
Yes, sir.
You recognize that this group chat was taking place on January 29th at about 10:52 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And the person that I'll identify as 5051, that's the last 4 digits of that phone number, indicates Chip, name of that BPD cop, correct?
Correct.
First of all, you indicated on Monday that you're Chip, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You responded at 10:53 p.m., John O'Keefe, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So you were willing to tell, just a few hours into an investigation of the death of a Boston police officer, you were willing to tell a bunch of high school buddies details about the investigation, including the name of the victim, correct?
At this point, it's 16 hours later, sir. Not a few.
16 is a few hours, correct? I'm not talking about days later.
It was about 16 hours later, sir.
Correct. And you identified John O'Keefe as the Boston police officer who is fallen in the yard at 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
You also informed, if you will skip to page 2529.
Thank you, Madam Commissioner. For the record, clip 3 begins from our exhibit 6, the video from June 12th of 2024, at about 0 hours, 38 minutes, and 20 seconds. And for the record, that was paused at approximately 2 minutes and 30 seconds into this particular clip. Madam Clerk, or excuse me, I apologize, Madam Commissioner, I apologize. Could you please, and my timestamps are based on the full exhibit, so I'll have to approximate. Would it be possible to add from 2 minutes and 33 seconds, would it be possible to add just under 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 53 seconds, so if we could go forward to 12 minutes and 26 seconds, if I'm doing my math correctly?
Mr. Green or somebody does that have to assist me. He said 12 minutes to.
We have
That
4
four?
minutes, yeah.
Okay.
5, 6,
That's 7.
7, yep. 8. 9,
It's 10.
no, it's 9. That's 10. It's about 11.
Sure. No, I'll speak. Okay, thank you. I was, yeah, so I'm sorry, what number is that now?
11
11?
and a half.
11 and a half, okay.
12 minutes would
That's perfect.
close enough. Thank you, Madam Commissioner.
Correct?
Not that I was aware of.
Not a single bruise below the neck, right?
Not that I observed.
Looks a lot like a physical altercation, doesn't it?
Objection.
Sustained.
Bird writes, Bear, let's focus, correct?
Yes.
Who's Bear?
That's another nickname I have.
0095 writes, what does she waffled him mean? And then Bird writes, what's the story, correct?
Correct.
And you wrote, she hit him with her car. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you need that clip anymore, Mr. Carney?
record, what was played, as I mentioned before, it began at approximately 0 hours, 38 minutes, and 20 seconds. It was played for approximately 2.5 minutes, then skipped ahead just under 10 minutes and played to the end of that particular clip, which would have been at about 0 hours, 55 minutes, and 12 seconds from our Exhibit 6. All right, sir. You just saw the 3 clips that were played, is that correct?
Yes.
The first 2 being Michael Proctor's sworn testimony under direct examination from Prosecutor Adam Lally, and the third under cross-examination by Defense Attorney Alan Jackson.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that as to allegation categories A, B, and C, Michael Proctor's communications with other individuals on those text message chains continued with a series of messages he exchanged with his sister? Is that correct, sir?
It is.
If I may just have one moment, please.
Of course.
Yes, if we could have clip 4, please, Madam Commissioner.
Show you another document, so ask if you recognize that.
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize that to be, sir?
Text communications between my sister and I.
That's your sister Courtney, is that correct?
That's correct.
And similar to what I had asked you about the prior packet, as far as the first message sent, date and time, last message sent, date and time, what is indicated on this first?
First message sent, date, time, December 10th, 2021 at 9:33 p.m. Last message sent, 8:30, 2022 at 8:48 p.m.
At 8:30, that's August 30th, is that correct?
I'm sorry, yes, August 30th, 2022.
And similar to the other messages, is there an indication as far as how many number of messages were sent between yourself and your sister over that time period?
2,865.
And fair to say that the documents in front of you do not contain 2,865 messages?
Correct.
Now, just in reference to the first message on page 2662, the first page in this packet, do you see that from December 10th of 2021 at approximately 9:33 p.m.?
Yes.
And what does that indicate?
The text message from my sister.
What does it say?
I called earlier, Dolph earlier, and Mom was puking in the background.
And do you recall what that was in regard to?
From the sounds of my mother had a stomach bug.
Sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2667. And these are text messages from January 29th, 2022, between yourself and your sister Courtney.
Correct.
And if you could read from the top of the page through the end, and please indicate to the jury as far as who's talking and who's saying what.
So I texted my sister at work, "What's up?" She responds, "What? Why?" I respond, "I just found it frozen to death on a front lawn in Canton this morning. Actually just interviewed Jim McCabe, said she knows you."
And the knows you, who are you referring to?
My sister.
And how did your sister respond to that?
Cut the shit. I responded, "You." It was a typo correction with my response to you. She responded, "Yeah, she knows Jack very well. She's really good friends with Julie." My sister continues on. Her sister is married to Brian Albert. My sister asks, "You still working?" Question mark. I said, "Yep, gonna be out for a while." Homicide.
As far as your answers to those questions, or as far as your communications that you have with your sister at this time, on the afternoon of January 29th, what were those in regard to, or why were you communicating that to your sister?
At that time, it was just kind of in the news. I was just kind of letting her know I was out working. She didn't share anything specific. I wouldn't share anything specific on cases with my family or anyone. It was just kind of an overall innocent conversation.
Turning your attention to the next page, 2669. Again, if you could read from that page as far as who was talking and what the content is.
All right. My sister starts off, the can thing is a homicide. I respond, this is at 3 in the afternoon on the 29th. Don't say a word to anyone. She said, of course not. I respond, and at the very least it's suspicious. She responds, this is your livelihood. And then I would never miss with that. 3:07, I respond, Julie and Chris were at the bar with the victim and girlfriend. Got to interview them.
Thank you. For the record, that was clip 4, extracted from Exhibit 4, the video from June 10th of 2024, beginning at 6 hours, 5 minutes, and 48 seconds approximately, and played till approximately 6 hours, 10 minutes, and 42 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, did Michael Proctor's testimony about the messages he sent with his sister relevant to allegations A, B, and C, did that testimony continue under cross-examination on June 12th of 2024?
It did.
May I have clip 5, please, Madam Commissioner? And for the Commission and Council,
We've established that you're very close with your sister Courtney, correct?
apologies.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Apologies. Just for reference, I'll be asking the Commission to pause the video. There's a break in the testimony so that we can skip ahead. I'll be asking from this particular clip, the Commission to pause the video at 3 minutes and 57 seconds, and then skipping ahead approximately 2.5 minutes.
So please repeat, I'm sorry, you want me to play it to 3 minutes?
And 57 seconds,
And then advance it to?
and advancing it 2 minutes and 29 seconds, so approximately 2.5 minutes.
I know, to what number?
To about 6
6 minutes?
minutes and 20 seconds.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the quick conversion. Attorney Quinn.
We've established that you're very close with your sister Courtney, correct?
Correct.
You provided your sister with updates on important advancements during the course of your investigation into this case. Did you not periodically?
I made her aware of newsworthy stuff.
That started as early as January 29th, 2022. Isn't that right?
It's on the exact date or content.
Well, the day of the incident, you began letting her know that you were involved, that you had been assigned, what the status was,
Yes.
the nature of the case.
Correct.
It was a homicide, correct?
Yes.
Matter of fact, you discussed who the players were, who the people were that were involved. Isn't that right?
I just mentioned Julie and Chris were earlier in the evening.
So you mentioned the Alberts, correct?
Julie and Chris, yes.
You also mentioned the McCabe's too, didn't you? At some point.
Yes.
Yeah. At 2668, Your Honor, that's the page that I'm referring to. Okay. You write homicide, correct?
So I said 2668.
Correct. I have my page number correct.
You're on the right page, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You wrote the word homicide. Is that right?
Yes,
You were describing to your sister the nature of the case that you are now assigned. Is that right?
correct.
She wrote, the Canton thing is a homicide, and you wrote, don't say a word to anyone, correct?
Correct.
And then she wrote, of course not. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you wrote what?
In the very least, it's suspicious.
In the very least, it's suspicious, correct?
Correct.
So at that time, at least at the time that you wrote that text on the 29th, at 3:05 in the afternoon, you believed that the case was suspicious, right?
It was before we found significant pieces of evidence.
So you believed that it was suspicious that it may involve the Alvarez, right?
Absolutely not.
She then writes, this is your livelihood, didn't she?
She did.
Meaning, this kind of case could make or it could break your career, right?
Objection.
She then wrote, I would never mess with that. Is that right?
Yes.
Your sister, Trooper Proctor, was warning you that you shouldn't be investigating a case in which close friends or family members were involved.
Objection.
Did you take her text? This is your livelihood. I would never mess with that, as a warning from her that you shouldn't be investigating a case that involved close friends.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Absolutely not. That was in response to don't say a word to anyone. And that was how I interpreted, this is your livelihood, I would never mess with that.
A couple of minutes later, 3:07 on January 29th, you told your sister, quote, Julie and Chris were at the bar with the victim and girlfriend, gotta interview them. Is that right?
Yes.
So you were telling Courtney, your sister, updates on what your investigation advancements were, correct?
Just that part.
Interview, why are you gonna interview him?
Yes.
She wrote, you gotta be kidding me, correct?
Correct.
Did you,
Want to advance it another 6 minutes and 20 seconds or so?
Yes, please, thank you.
we know these people.
Again, that's how I read that message.
You don't deny. Well,
Too specific.
newsworthy, would you have gone to the news at this point in the investigation? Would you have gone to the news and said, Julie and Chris were at the bar, I gotta go interview them?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Is that what you do, Trooper?
No, I would not do that, sir.
So it's not newsworthy. These were details, internal details about the investigation, weren't they?
Yes.
And you were sharing them with your sister, Courtney Proctor, correct?
Correct.
And
Will you be using this again, Mr. Carly? Please go ahead.
Thank you. For the record, that was, again, Respondents Exhibit 6, the video from June 12th of 2024. Playback began at approximately 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 43 seconds. It was played till approximately 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 40 seconds. And then it was skipped ahead to approximately 1 hour, 57 minutes, 9 seconds, and played to the end of that particular clip, 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 51 seconds. All right, Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, I want to move on to the allegation that you assigned letter D for the commission's benefit. Again, that was the allegation you categorized as D, was that Trooper Proctor allegedly sent derogatory, defamatory, disparaging text messages to non-law enforcement personnel about a suspect in a homicide investigation. Is that true?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that as to allegation category D, sir, Michael Proctor's communications were also on multiple text message chains, one with the same large group of friends, another with his sister, and a third with his spouse?
Yes.
Was Trooper Michael Proctor's testimony on this subject, chronologically speaking, again first addressed at that trial under direct examination from the prosecutor?
Yes.
And then also fair to say, this next clip will pick back up at a point we paused earlier, where Trooper Proctor was describing the text message chain with multiple friends, some in-state, some out-of-state, and conversation turns to Ms. Reed and her appearance.
Correct.
Madam Commissioner, may I have clip 6, please? There's no skipping this. That goes. Council's reference.
Second response, same number, Shihadli.
Apologies. For council's reference, this is transcript exhibit 5, respondents exhibit 5, being stamped beginning on approximately page 108. Thank you.
Second response, same number, Shihad at least.
And turning your attention to the next page, 2538, at the top, if you could just read a series of responses from yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, so these came from me. From all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. She's a whack job, C-U-N-T.
So don't spell it, you have to, so these are your words, Trooper Proctor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead and say them.
Cunt. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. Though, no ass.
And sir, what is it that you are referring to there, or why would you text them?
These were, from all accounts, he didn't do anything wrong. Is talking about the homeowner, Mr. Albert. I had mentioned the compelling evidence against Ms. Reed at this point indicated that Mr. Albert had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death. The rest of the unprofessional and regrettable comments are something I'm not proud of, and I shouldn't have wrote in a private or any type of setting.
Sir, at some point, if I could turn your attention to page 2540. And there's a photograph that's shared within this text communication, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And does it indicate who shared that photograph? In the prior page, possible.
The number ending in 5051.
And who is depicted in that photograph that was shared within the group text?
It's Ms. Reed being escorted out of the state police Milton Barracks.
And these are all from February 1st of 2022, around that time frame, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, sir, if I could direct you to page 2543. And sir, if I could direct you to the top of the page and ask you to read through that page indicating who's speaking and what the content of those communications are.
Okay. The number ending in 4146. Question is that chick a smoke? Again, 4146 question mark. I respond EH. I respond again nutbag, as Chief would say. I also respond with she's got a leaky poo knot, leaks poo.
And what, if anything, is that in reference to?
Again, to Ms. Reed's some medical conditions there. Again, unprofessional comments I should not have made, that I'm not proud of.
As far as attitudes expressed within these text messages and other text messages, what, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding this?
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of this investigation. They said these are unprofessional comments, but they absolutely do not detract from the integrity of the investigation or the facts and evidence of it.
Thank you, ma'am. For the record, the last clip 6 just played was from Respondents Exhibit 4, a video from June 10th, 2024, beginning at approximately 6 hours, 0 minutes, and 15 seconds, and played until approximately 6 hours, 4 minutes, and 22 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, is it fair to say that that concluded Michael Proctor's testimony as to allegation D, demeaning Ms. Reed to his friends for June 10th, and he did not testify on that subject again until June 12th?
Correct.
Just before I ask for clip 7, I'm just going to note the next clip 7, will come from June 12th. And for counsel and the commission's benefit, the transcript, Exhibit 7, Respondents 199, beginning approximately line 11. If I could have clip 7 when it's convenient for the commission, please. Thank you.
Okay, that's clip 7.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Then 5051 changes gears. And he writes, she hot at least, correct?
Yes.
And what was your response to that?
From all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. She's a whack job cunt.
From all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. She's a whack job cunt. That's what you wrote, correct?
Correct.
16 hours into this investigation.
Yes.
Into your objective and unbiased, thorough investigation, correct?
Correct.
But sir, you didn't have all accounts, did you?
What I meant by that was
Did you or did you not have all accounts in your investigation?
the accounts we had was Ms. Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle, discovered taillight pieces at the scene. Those are the accounts we had.
The accounts
And
you
that's-
had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The accounts you had, Trooper Proctor, were from 2 people named McCabe and 1 named Albert, who happened to be the homeowner and a Boston cop. Those are the accounts from recipient witnesses that you had, correct?
There was another additional witness that we had investigators that interviewed, Miss Roberts as well.
And from all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. That was your decision 16 hours into the investigation, correct?
Yes.
And the other decision that you made and the other determination you came to was my client, Karen Reed, was a whack job cunt, right?
Yes.
What else did you say in response to, she's hot at least? Or she hot at least, question mark.
So following that text, I responded, yeah, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent though. No ass.
Yeah, she's a babe. Who's the she?
Miss Reed.
Weird Fall River accent, though. You're talking about her, the way she talks?
The accent.
And no ass. Now you're talking about her body or physique, correct?
Yes,
You think that's appropriate?
absolutely not.
Then Bird chimes in with a little comedy. Not newsworthy then, correct?
Correct.
In other words, well, she didn't have an ass. Nothing to see here, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
And then 5051 says, oh, she's skating, right?
Correct.
And what did you write after that?
My response was 0 chance she skated.
And then what did you write?
She's fucked.
0 chance she skates. She's fucked, right?
Correct.
You decided on the 29th of January, 17 hours into this investigation, you decided individually, Trooper Proctor, you're not only going to put it on the girl, you decided you're going to make sure this is cut and dry, and the way you're going to do it is to make sure that she's fucked. That's what you were saying.
Objection.
All right, so that's sustained, you can, the content's fine, you have to ask it differently.
17 hours into this investigation, Trooper Proctor, you made the decision that you were going to put it on Miss Reed, didn't you? Put the case on Miss Reed. She was going to catch the case, correct?
No, absolutely not.
What did you mean then when you said she's fucked?
After the day's investigation with multiple troopers conducting multiple tasks and a debriefing at Canton PD amongst detectives in my office, we went through the overwhelming amount of evidence against Ms. Reed that she struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle. That's what I meant by that comment.
What you meant by that comment, Trooper Proctor, was you were going to make sure because 5051 had said she's going to skate. She's skating. When you said 0 chance she skates, she's fucked. What you meant was, I'm going to make sure, I am going to make sure Ms. Reed doesn't skate. She's fucked. That's what you meant.
Objection.
Sustained.
And then Bird decides to chime in, good, no ass bitch, right?
Yes, that's what he wrote.
And how did you respond to Bird saying, good, no ass bitch?
I laughed.
Thought that was funny, did you? Trooper Proctor? Thought that was funny?
It was unprofessional of me. That's something I shouldn't have done.
Well, I think we all know it was unprofessional. It was a lot of things. I'm asking you, did you think it was funny?
No, according to my response at the time, apparently.
Then you sent a picture, just to add to it, to pile on, of Miss Reed being arrested, correct?
I don't. I'm not sure if that came from me, sir.
Let's skip to 2543. Are you there, Trooper Proctor?
Yes.
The date is now February 2nd, 2022. A person by the name of Doc writes, is that chick a smoke? Correct?
Correct.
Who's the chick?
Miss Reed.
And you write E-H, right?
Yes.
And then you write nutbag, as Chief would say, correct?
Correct.
Who's Chief?
A friend of mine.
And then you write what?
She's got a leaky balloon knot.
Trooper Proctor, explain to the jurors what a balloon knot is.
Your, essentially, I guess your rectum area.
Your anus?
Yes.
That's what you were referring to about Miss Reed?
Yes.
And you were making fun of her because you believed at that time that it leaked? That's how you were treating Miss Reed? Yes or no?
Yes.
And then you followed that up, just to make sure you cleared up any mistake about what you meant with leaks poo, correct?
Objection.
All right, so I'm gonna strike that. You could get this in, but do it the right way, Mr. Jackson.
You followed that up with the phrase leaks poo, didn't you?
I did.
Again, another reference to Miss Reed's medical issues and medical conditions, correct?
Correct.
Specifically focused on her anus, correct?
In reference, yes.
Thank you. For the record, what was just played, clip 7, came from Respondents Exhibit 6, beginning at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 29 seconds approximately, and was played until approximately 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 38 seconds. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, further as to allegation D of demeaning messages sent about a suspect sent to non-law enforcement, is it fair to say that Michael Proctor's communications also included messages he exchanged with his sister?
Yes.
Specifically, on February 4th of 2022, did Michael Proctor send a message reading, quote, "Hopefully she kills herself"?
He did.
And according to his testimony, Michael Proctor's testimony, to whom was he referring in that message, "Hopefully she kills herself"?
Karen Reed.
And further as to allegation D of demeaning messages about a suspect sent to non-law enforcement, is it also fair to say Michael Proctor's communications also included messages he exchanged with his wife?
Yes.
Specifically on June 9th of 2022, did Michael Proctor send a text message reading, quote, "We're going to lock this whack job up"?
He did.
And according to Michael Proctor's testimony, to whom was he referring in that message?
Karen Reed.
All right, Detective Lieutenant, I want to return to the subject of your allegation E at a later point in your testimony. Right now, I want to ask you a series of questions and play a couple of clips with regard to the next allegation that was sustained according to your investigation, allegation F, namely that Michael Proctor sent derogatory, defamatory, and disparaging text messages to other law enforcement personnel about a suspect in a homicide investigation. Specifically, I'll be asking for the next clip, which is in sequence clip 8. Before I do, however, I'd just like to direct counsel and the commission's attention. The page reference for the transcript is Exhibit 5, bait stamped, Respondents 125. That I have at the commission's convenience, clip 8, and this one unfortunately does have a jump in the middle of it.
Even 20 minutes, we want to request it as 3 minutes in terms of.
There's a skip of about 7 minutes and 15 seconds in the middle of the tape, or the middle of this particular clip, just for efficiency and administrative economy here.
You'd like it to run for how long?
If you could please have it run at the beginning for the first 2 minutes and 1 second, and then skip ahead 17 minutes and 15 seconds to 9:16. Play to the end.
1916 or 916?
9:16.
916. Okay.
Mayor Proctor.
Yes.
Another document asking, do you recognize that?
Yes.
Do you recognize that?
Text messages between myself and Trooper DeChico.
And again, what is the first message sent, date and time, last message sent, date and time, and number of messages contained therein?
First message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022 at 1:09 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, April 28th, 2022, 4:45 p.m.
And the number of messages, sir?
4.
And if you could read the contents of those messages contained therein. Please indicate who's speaking.
So I started out, of course, it's undetermined. She was a whack job. Trooper Chico responds, "Dear God, WTF, what the hell's inconclusive about the whole thing?"
And as far as your indication there, as far as she was a whack job, who are you referring to there?
Miss Reed.
Now, as far as the undetermined or what you're talking about, what is sort of the content or context of this conversation?
That would be the manner of death was determined to be undetermined by the medical examiner's office.
And so I ask you again, as far as your reference there in the bottom of the first page, as far as she was a whack job, whom do you believe you're referring to there?
Again,
Reed or the medical examiner?
Miss Reed.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem. Okay, you know the documents. You those look up when you finish. Do you recognize those, sir?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
Another text thread between myself, Trooper DeChico, and Trooper Krakowski.
And Trooper Kaskowski is another trooper within your unit in the state police, is that correct?
Yes.
And again, if you could read from the first message sent, date and time, and the last message sent, date and time.
First message sent, date and time, 5/24/2022, 9:21 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/24/2022, 4:56 p.m.
And as far as the number of messages indicated within this text chain between yourself, Trooper Kaskowski, and Trooper Chico,
494.
fair to say the documents before you do not contain 494 text messages, correct?
Correct.
Just in reference to that first page, 2635, first message sent, that's May 24th, 2022, around 9:21 p.m., is that correct?
Yes.
And that's a message sent from Trooper Kaskowski, is that correct?
Correct.
And what is that?
Appears to be a picture of a toy Santa Claus.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2644. If I could direct you to the bottom of the page, sir, and see the text from yourself at June 9, 2022 at 11:19 p.m.
Yes.
Very bottom of the page. You know, may I approach just to point out?
Yes.
Yes, see it, sir. Okay.
If you could read what you wrote on June 9, 2022, around that time.
If you like women who shit themselves.
Again, sir, what is it that you're referring to there?
Again, a regrettable comment I made about Miss Reed's medical condition.
Now, if I could direct you to the following page, 2645. And again, if you could read from that page as far as who is, indicate to the jury who is speaking and what is being said on page 2645.
I'm speaking right now. The statement she made tonight at 8/7 was mental. Thank Christ it was on BWC, which is body worn camera. Trooper Kukowski responds, that's her, smoke. Trooper Kukowski again, what'd she say? I respond, said the Alberts beat the shit out of O'Keefe, left him for dead, and that's why her taillight was cracked. She's gross. Trooper DeChico, oh fuck her, bitch.
Okay, so can I approach your retreating arm?
Yes.
Sir, with reference to that last bit as far as June 9th, 2022, what was going on that day in reference to this matter again?
Miss Reed was being processed at the Milton Barracks.
Thank you. If I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Can I approach?
Yes.
Another documents to recognize those.
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Another text thread with members from my office, troopers.
And who are the troopers that are listed within that?
Trooper Chris Moore, Trooper Jeff Kukowski, Lieutenant John Fanning, Trooper Dave DeChico, and Sergeant Yuri Buchanan.
And what is the first message sent, date and time?
That would be 5/26/2022 at 8:19 p.m. Last message sent, date and time, 8/26/2022, 5:36 p.m.
And what is listed as far as the number of messages within this chain?
651.
And fair to say the documents before you do not contain all 651 of those messages within this chain, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page 2682. You see a message sent from Trooper DeChico on August 17th, 2022 at 9:42 p.m.
Yes.
And is that an image contained on the next page, which is 2683?
Yes, it is.
And what is the image of?
That is a picture of Mr. Yannetti, appears to be from quite some time ago.
Now turning your attention to the next page, 2684. And there's a response from you, August 17th, 2022 at 9:44 p.m. Is that correct?
Sorry, sir, what, the date and time again, please?
Page 2684, 8/17/2022, 9:44 p.m.
Yes,
You see there's like sort of three
Yeah.
responses from you.
I have, yeah.
If you could just read the three responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. No nude so far. I hate that man, I truly hate him.
Now, with reference to the investigation at this point, when you're talking about his client's phone, who are you referring to?
Miss Reed.
Carly, I'll ask you to please question the head of the lawyer about this particular clip right now, and then we'll take a break after.
Yes. If I may note for the record, clip 8 that was just played, from Respondent's Exhibit 4. And the playback began from that clip at approximately 6 hours, 29 minutes, and 19 seconds, and was played until approximately 6 hours, 31 minutes, and 20 seconds. Then it was skipped ahead to 6 hours, 38 minutes, and 35 seconds approximately, and played until the end of the clip, which took place around 6 hours, 46 minutes, and 7 seconds on that exhibit. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, is it fair to say that from, with respect to your review, and specifically allegation F, derogatory text messages sent about the suspect to other law enforcement personnel, that testimony that was just played effectively concluded Michael Proctor's testimony from June 10th?
Correct.
And then it did not pick up again until June 12th on a cross-examination, is that fair to say?
Yes, it is.
At this time, I suggest suspending questioning of the Commission's suggestion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the time is about 11:41 a.m. and we'll do a 15-minute recess. shortly, but I did have a few questions about lunch break, so it is at 1 p.m. for 45 minutes. Mr. Carley, I'll just ask as you're going through with the clips, just remind us what page on the transcript?
Yes.
Each time, I know I see we've done that, but it helps a lot.
Yes,
We could just rearrange yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's go back to the record. Back to the record. Good afternoon, we're now back on the record. The time is 12:03 p.m. And I've informed the parties that we'll be taking a lunch break at 1 p.m. for 45 minutes. Mr. Carley?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
For the record and for the commission and council's benefit, I have one last clip to play on this topic before I move on to other subjects. The next clip will begin, the transcript reference is at respondents 136 for Exhibit 5. And for the commission and council's benefit, this will be clip 9. Unfortunately, there is a skip in it, but I have the timestamps ready. For clip 9, if we could play for the first 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And then pause.
Trooper Proctor, in the summer of 2020,
Go ahead.
No need to go back.
I interrupted you. Did you have any seconds? I'm so sorry.
3 minutes and 8 seconds. Play for the first 3 minutes and 8 seconds, and then move ahead to 8 minutes and 3 seconds, and play 2 minutes. And that will be the last time I ask for a jump in the playback. Thank you.
Trooper Proctor, in the summer of 2022, August 17th specifically, you were sitting at your desk, presumably alone at your office, at about 10 p.m. at night, going through my client's personal cell phone, correct?
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, you were sitting there texting with your friends and colleagues at Massachusetts State Police about you going through her personal cell phone. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
And that included Trooper DeChico, is that right?
DeChico, yes, sir.
Trooper Fanning, Trooper Butnick, Trooper Moore, and Trooper Kotskowski.
Kakowski.
Tell me that again?
Kakowski.
Kakowski.
Yes, sir.
All right, all the consonants are silent. Fair enough. Trooper Fanning and Trooper Butnick are your supervisors.
Yes.
And you were bragging to all 5 of them that you were going through Karen Reed's cell phone about 9:45 at night.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
No, I wasn't bragging, sir.
How did you refer to Ms. Reed in that text exchange where you informed them that you were going through her phone?
I used regrettable language. I said going through his retarded client's phone right now.
You were shown a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
Same document. Your Honor, I think the court has the copy that I was going to use.
I thought I gave you that too.
You received a photograph. Actually, Your Honor, if I could, I would ask that this document be marked as next in order. Assuming the witness verifies its authenticity.
So go ahead.
Do you recognize this document?
I do, sir.
Same document that you were shown, copy of the same document that you were shown by Mr. Unetti, correct?
Stilali.
I've done that twice. Mr. Lally.
Correct.
All right. Is that a true and accurate reflection of the text messages that you were exchanging with Chris Moore, Jeff Kukowski, John Fanning, Vito DiCicco, and Yuri Buchanan.
Yes.
I've asked that this be marked.
Okay, any objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you what's going on there. Have that, please.
Trooper Proctor, Trooper DiCicco had sent you a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Unetti, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, because of a technical issue, I'm not going to display on the television. May I display this hard copy? Briefly. Sure. Thank you. You see that, gentlemen?
I do, sir.
Is that the photograph that you received?
Yes.
Is that what you referred to on direct examination with Mr. Lally about receiving a photograph from of Mr. Unetti?
Correct.
And then your response was what?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
Actually, your response was, I'm going through his retarded client's phone right now, correct?
Yes, after the picture, sir, yes.
Who's the retarded client?
Of referring to Miss Reed, again, unprofessional language.
I'm asking who you were referring to.
Miss
I hope
Reed.
you got an explanation. Who was it you were referring to as retarded?
Miss Reed.
Karen Reed, the woman sitting to my left.
Yes, sir.
The subject of your investigation as a professional, correct?
Yes, sir.
As an unbiased, objective investigator, the person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded, correct?
Again, poor language on my part.
Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it, right?
Objection.
I've got to sustain that, Mr. Jackson.
After you referred to my client as retarded, then you decided to make a comment about Mr. Unetti, her lawyer, correct?
Correct.
And what did you say about Mr. Unetti again?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
I hate that man. I truly hate him, correct?
Correct.
You didn't say I dislike him, disagree with him. You said I hate him, correct?
Correct, sir.
That's a visceral response to someone who's just doing the job, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Sure. Let me ask it this way. Were you upset or annoyed or pissed off that Karen Reed had gotten representation, legal representation, to represent her?
No, not at all. That's her right.
Well, let me ask you this. In August of 2022, you said you absolutely hate it, correct?
No, if we use absolutely. Yeah, I didn't use absolutely, sir.
You used truly, correct?
Truly, yes.
How do you feel about it now? You're sitting right there.
I still cheer for him now.
I'll let it stand.
What did you tell your colleagues that you were looking for as you sat at almost 10 p.m. at night on a Wednesday night, August 17th, 2022, looking through Karen Reed's phone?
I didn't tell them I was looking through anything. They knew I was going through Miss Reed's phone. I provided a inappropriate joke as an update. They knew I was going through location data, text messages, Google searches. But like I mentioned earlier, I have stuck.
Except for Proctor, none of that really professional sounding stuff ended up in your comments to your bosses, did it?
Again, it was a poor joke.
Is that yes or no?
They did not know.
It did not.
No,
As a
sir.
matter of fact, what did you write after you talked about going through the, quote, retarded client's phone?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No news so far.
No news so far, correct?
Correct.
And you said that to your bosses.
Yes, sir.
You were looking for naked photographs of Miss Reed on a Wednesday night as you sat in your office at 9:44 p.m., correct?
No, not correct.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked for naked photos of a male suspect that you were investigating?
I don't look for naked photos on anyone's phones.
But you said you were looking for nudes of Miss Reed.
Like I said, Mr. Jackson, it was an inappropriate joke.
Sir, this is a citizen. She's a woman. You were supposed to be objectively investigating. Does your text message to your colleagues at Massachusetts State Police reflect an objective investigation of a citizen?
Objection.
You can get part of that question and ask it again.
Do you believe that your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Do you believe that, Trooper Proctor?
I believe poor jokes have, in unprofessional language, have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence of this case.
It's not that they don't have any bearing on the facts and integrity, it's that they have no place in a professional investigation because it shows bias, right?
Objection.
So I have to sustain that as asked. Go ahead and ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating Karen Reed as objectifying her, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Is that right?
Rephrase the question, please.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating her as objectifying her in those moments, correct?
Again, Mr. Jackson, it was a poor choice of words and a joke that I should not have texted out, but from the start of the investigation, we didn't know what we had.
And your, Trooper Proctor, your point in saying no nudes so far to your colleagues in Massachusetts State Police was to suggest that you were looking for nudes and you'd update them when you found them, correct?
Incorrect.
Thank you, Commissioner. For the record, that last clip 9, came from Respondents Exhibit 4, the video from June 10th of 2024, beginning at approximately 6 hours, 56 minutes, and 56 seconds. It was played until approximately 7 hours, 0 minutes, and 4 seconds. And then it was skipped ahead to approximately 7 hours, 4 minutes, and 59 seconds, and played again until approximately 7 hours, 11 minutes, and 35 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley.
Thank you. Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, as I indicated, I'm going to divert us from the video clips for the time being and ask you a series of questions about your investigation's findings and recommendations for 2 additional allegations. Namely, I want to ask you about allegation that you lettered E, that Michael Proctor accepted a reward, gift, or gratuity, and allegation G, that he searched for nude photographs of suspect Karen Reed. Just to remind the Commission, sir, is it correct to say your recommendation as to both such allegations after your review of the evidence in this case was both were not sustained because of lack of sufficient evidence to prove them? Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, beginning with allegation E, sir. What was the basis for the claim you investigated about Michael Proctor allegedly accepting a reward, gift, or gratuity?
He testified that in a text exchange with his sister, she had texted him that a potential witness in the investigation wanted to get him a gift.
All right. And based on your review of Michael Proctor's testimony at the Karen Reed trial, the first Karen Reed trial in the summer of 2024, what if any response did he give to that suggestion in that particular exchange?
His response was to get Elizabeth one, and he wanted to say that Elizabeth is his wife.
All right. Based on your review of Mr. Proctor's testimony, any applicable messages, and any other evidence from any other source that you gathered on the subject, did you find any indication that Michael Proctor, his spouse, or the friend had ever taken any action to further the request for or to actually obtain any gift?
No.
Based on that review, did you find an indication that Michael Proctor or his spouse had ever communicated with the friend about the gift or the possibility of getting them.
No,
As part of your investigation, and this is a subject to which we will return, did you interview Michael Proctor in July of 2024?
I did.
Did you ask him about this subject in particular, specifically this exchange regarding Get Elizabeth One?
I did.
And based on his answers to you in that interview, can you summarize what he told you and what, if any, inferences you drew from that?
He told us that when he got that text and he responded with Get Elizabeth One, he wasn't meaning to get Elizabeth a gift. He was trying to reference the fact that while he was working late and long hours on this investigation, his wife was home taking care of his kids. He was merely trying to show that the recognition, that his wife had deserved the recognition and not him.
And just to, I think I asked this question, but just to put a fine point on it, sir, did you ever find any evidence in your investigation to suggest any follow-up effort on Michael Proctor or anyone else's part to obtain that gift?
No.
All right. And did you take from that support for Mr. Proctor's statements to you in the interview that this was not meant to be taken literally, that he was not soliciting a gift?
Correct.
All right. Now shifting gears, sir, to the other allegation that you stated or found was not sustained, allegation G, sir. What was the basis for the claim that you investigated about Michael Proctor allegedly searching for nude photographs of Karen Reed?
He had texted some co-workers in regards to searching Ms. Reed's cell phone, no nudes so far.
And that was the subject of the last couple of clips that were just played, where he was under questioning by the prosecutor and the defense counsel during that portion of the Karen Reed trial.
Correct.
All right. And did you ask Mr. Proctor about this particular subject during your July 2024 interview of him as well?
I did.
Based on your review of the trial testimony and what he told you in that interview and any other evidence that you received on this point, what, if anything, did you find? What inferences did you draw?
So from his testimony in his interview with us, he had stated that he was authorized to be searching in her phone for geographical data, text messages, and he related, and I know this to be true, at least anecdotally, that it is not uncommon to find personal or sensitive photos on a cell phone when you're not looking for them. He stated that the text he sent was an inappropriate joke, referencing that anecdotally true fact, and he had in no way or effort searched for any photos, and I found that to be credible.
All right, sir. And you mentioned a couple of things I want to follow up on. You mentioned he was authorized to go through that phone. Your investigation indicated he was authorized to go through Ms. Reed's phone at that time based on the authority of a search warrant?
Correct.
And then I want to ask you about your statement that anecdotally you know certain things about where that kind of content can come from during the search of a cell phone. When you say anecdotally, is that based on your training and experience, sir?
It is, sir.
And did you previously work as a member of an SPDU working on major crimes cases in a similar fashion to Trooper Proctor?
I did.
And in terms of training and experience as to where you might find or where you might inadvertently find nude images contained on a cell phone, that's based on your personal experience of searching phones pursuant to warrants of the kind that Mr. Proctor had obtained.
It is.
I want to ask you the next series of questions, sir, about allegations H, I, and J that you investigated. Fair to say, sir, those particular allegations, as you termed them in your report, H, I, and J, those are all related to one another?
They are.
And in general, what was the nature of allegations H, I, and J?
In July of 2022, Trooper Proctor, along with a Canton police officer, had traveled to the Cape area to work on an unrelated invest. While they were down there, on their return trip home, they stopped for dinner, where Trooper Proctor testified that he had a beer or two and then drove home.
And did you receive information from Mr. Proctor either during his public testimony at the trial or during your interview with him that he was operating his department-issued cruiser on that occasion?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And fair to say that during the criminal trial, Mr. Proctor was asked about text messages he exchanged between himself and Canton Police Officer Albert at that time.
Yes.
One of the messages that was exchanged on this subject was Officer Albert saying, "It's bad, I was hungover for sure today."
Correct.
And Officer Albert acknowledged that he had left his badge in the state police cruiser that Trooper Proctor was assigned at that time.
Yes.
All right. And just to split them off for a moment, just to be absolutely clear on the record, H, I, and J. Allegation H concerns simply whether or not he consumed alcohol on duty. Is that a fair characterization of allegation H as you phrased it?
It is.
Allegation I, on the other hand, concerns whether Mr. Proctor operated his cruiser after consuming alcohol.
Correct.
All right, and then allegation J concerns whether or not he put in for and received overtime pay improperly. Is that correct?
Correct.
Fair to say during his public testimony, he did answer some questions on these particular subjects that were of significance to your investigation on these 3 points.
He did.
Could you summarize, please, sir, what information did Michael Proctor provide by means of his testimony under cross-examination on June 12th, 2024 on these particular related allegations?
He testified that he drank 1 or 2 beers and then got into his cruiser and drove home.
Did he indicate that that particular instance was all on July 19th, 2022?
He did.
And he also answered some questions about the text messages on that occasion and the following day.
Yes.
Now, I'd like to ask you about the follow-up steps you took, sir, personally, during your investigation of H, I, and J. For the week encompassing July 19th and ending July 23rd, 2022, did you have occasion to obtain Michael Proctor's pay station entry time report?
I did.
Can you describe, sir, just in general, what report that is? What kind of document is that?
So the pay station is our attendance. It's how we get paid. Every week we put in the hours that we work, and that's what generates our pay.
The particular pay station time entry report for that week that I just asked you about, was that ultimately attached to your report as Exhibit 9?
Yes.
Could you turn to Exhibit 9 in the respondent's exhibits, please? Is Exhibit 9 in front of you now, sir?
It is.
All right, so that's Respondent's Exhibit 9. Does that also line up with the Exhibit 9 that you attached to your report?
Yes.
All right, and that is the, just to be absolutely clear, that's the pay station time entry report for the week encompassing July 19th of 2022.
It is.
All right. Did you also have occasion to obtain what is known as the Administrative Journal Duty Roster for the Norfolk State Police Detective Unit, including any entries for Michael Proctor for shifts or overtime claimed on the date of July 19th, 22?
I did.
And did you ultimately make that Exhibit 10 to your report?
I did.
And is that the same Exhibit 10 that's Respondent's Exhibit 10?
It is.
All right. And then last in this group, sir, for the date July 19th, 2022, did you also have occasion to obtain an automatic vehicle locator, also known as AVL report, for Mr. Proctor's assigned cruiser at that time?
I did.
Did you ultimately make that Exhibit 11?
I did.
And if you could turn to Respondent's 11, is that the same Exhibit 11 that you attached to your report?
It is.
All right, sir. Having obtained these records, could you please summarize for the commission what they contain and what, if any, inferences you drew from them with respect to these related allegations, H, I, and J.
Sure. The SBDU DAJ showed that he was scheduled to work on the 19th. His pay station shows that he did work and he did get paid for his regular shift, which was 8:30 to 5. It also showed that
He did get paid for his regular shift.
from 8:30 to 5. It also showed that he also got paid overtime from 5 till 10:30 at night. The AVL logs confirmed that he was working. He did work he started work at 8:30 and he did return home at the time that was consistent with what he put in for his overtime.
And when it came to the AVL logs, because those are linked to the department-issued cruiser he was assigned at the time, those AVL logs indicate that in terms of his operation, he was operating that department-issued cruiser on that occasion.
Correct.
Based on his investigative duties that day, sir, did your investigation reveal that the department had authorized him to disable the cruiser's AVL capability in order to protect the integrity of the investigation he was working on that occasion?
Yes.
And fair to say you found no violation of misconduct in that respect?
Correct.
During, again, the same interview I asked you about before, the July 2024 interview that you conducted with Michael Proctor, did you ask him about these related allegations during that interview?
I did.
What information relevant, if any, to your investigation did he provide to you during that interview?
Trooper Proctor, he reiterated that he had 1 or 2 beers at dinner on his way home. He stated that his work down the Cape, he interviewed a witness and tried to track down a witness. I found that from Canton to the Cape, to include travel time and the work and the time that he spent on his work down there, including the stop for dinner, that the amount of time he put in for overtime was appropriate.
Could I ask you, please, to go to Respondents 18, your report, please. Could you go to specifically Respondents, page 502, please? You see paragraph 27 there on 502?
I do.
All right, sir. Looking at toward the bottom of 27, paragraph 27 on Respondents 502, 6 lines up, in about the middle of the line, 6 lines up, do you see the sentence that begins, "While there has been nothing found"?
Yes.
Could you read just that one sentence, or excuse me, just those 2 consecutive sentences, starting with "while there has been nothing found"?
While there has been nothing found in this investigation to support the notion that Trooper Proctor was intoxicated, department members are not allowed to consume alcohol while working. His testimony, combined with his statement provided to investigators, confirmed that he consumed alcohol and then operated his department-issued cruiser on July 19th, 2022.
Right, sir. As a result of your entire investigation, and specifically your findings and the evidence gathered on this point, did you recommend sustained findings for both allegations H and I, consumption of alcohol and operation of a department cruiser after having consumed alcohol?
Yes.
And based on, again, the same information, and in particular directing your attention to exhibits 9, 10, and 11, what facts did you gather relevant to allegation J, the suggestion of potential overtime abuse, or the allegation of potential overtime?
So like I previously said, looking at or considering the travel time from Canton to the Cape, the amount of work he did, and the amount of time that he spent at the restaurant, I found it was appropriate. It's entirely reasonable for troopers while they're working to stop and have a meal. It would be inappropriate if it was an extended stay at a restaurant. But again, factoring in the travel time, the time that he was working down there, and his return home, I found that he did not spend any extended period of time eating. So I found it appropriate.
So this was not an inappropriate request for overtime pay based on the statements of the department?
Correct.
And as a result, you recommended a finding of exonerated with respect to this particular allegation, allegation J?
I did.
Thank you, sir. All right, sir, I want to take you through the next few exhibits attached to your report, if I could, please. I'll be referencing specifically exhibits 12 through 18 and the next group of questions. Several times just now I asked you about the interview, the July 2024 interview you conducted in this case of Mr. Proctor, is that right?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to issue what's known as a standard subject call-in letter to Michael Proctor to arrange for that interview through his counsel?
Yes.
And did you ultimately make that initial call-in letter attachment exhibit 12 to your report?
I did.
And if you could go to exhibit 12, respondents exhibit 12, is that the same exhibit 12 that you attached to your report?
Yes.
All right. And was that call-in interview date rescheduled in the case from that date to July 19th of 2024?
It
At
was.
the request of Mr. Proctor's attorney?
Yes.
And did it actually ultimately end up taking place on the date requested by his counsel?
Yes.
And was a second subject call-in letter issued as a result of the rescheduled
Yes.
interview?
Yes.
And did you ultimately make that exhibit 13 to your report?
I did.
All right, and that's the same exhibit 13 that's before you as respondents 13?
Yes.
Did you provide to Michael Proctor prior to beginning that interview the standard department administrative rights notice and waiver forms for the purposes of conducting that interview on July 19th?
I did.
Were Michael Proctor and his counsel given full opportunity to read and execute those forms prior to beginning the interview?
Yes.
And were those forms constituting a total of 3 pages ultimately made exhibit 14 to your report?
Yes.
And is that the same exhibit 14 that's respondents 14?
No.
All right, so what do you have there?
This is a email to Triple Proctor advising him of his call-in letter.
All right. Could I inquire of the commission that it's possible there was a printing error with regard to the witnesses binder?
You can go to the
Thank you. Could I inquire of the commission with respect to, there appears to be a printing error with regard to exhibit 14, and I apologize to the commission. Is there a way to refer to the exhibit 14 in the commission's copy?
Yes, do you have
May I approach? All right, sir. My apologies for the confusion. Exhibit 14. The exhibit 14 that's now before you as respondents exhibits 401, pages 401, 402, 403, and 404. Are those the administrative rights and waiver forms that were executed by Mr. Proctor and counsel on that occasion?
Yes.
My apologies for the confusion. The interview of Michael Proctor on that day, was that taken in the presence of counsel?
Yes.
And was he afforded, he being Mr. Proctor, afforded the opportunity to consult with his attorney as much as desired before answering questions?
He was.
Was the interview recorded?
Yes,
How was it recorded, sir?
on a digital handheld device.
And I'll note for the record that that's been submitted as Exhibit 15 to the Commission.
Yes, thank you.
Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, ultimately, just to round out this particular series of exhibits in this portion of your report and the respondents' exhibits, did you ultimately include what's known as a concise history, which is essentially a disciplinary history for Michael Proctor, and include that as Exhibit 16 to your report?
I did.
All right, and I'll note for the record that that was submitted as Exhibit 16, Respondent 16. So, just to be absolutely clear on the record, Exhibit 15 is the transcript of the testimony by Michael Proctor during that interview, and 17 is the audio. I apologize for any confusion. Sir, and I think we referenced it before, but just to be absolutely clear on the record, Respondent Exhibit 18 is your report that you all authored in this case.
It is.
All right, so moving ahead, if I could please, to the next set of exhibits. I have a series of questions on exhibits number 19 through 29, respondents 19 through 29. During the course of your investigation, were you permitted on the execution of the non-disclosure agreement that you had mentioned earlier from the Federal District Court of Massachusetts to obtain and use for this disciplinary investigation copies of the trial exhibits from the Commonwealth versus Care and Re-prosecution containing the text message chains that have been referenced here today?
Yes.
All right. And if you could please refer to exhibits 19, 20, and 21. If you could just briefly take a look at 19, 20, and 21 as in the binder before you, and just tell me if those are correct representations of the trial exhibits that were obtained from the Norfolk Superior Court.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about exhibits 22 and 23. Could you turn to 22, please, sir? Respond to 22.
Yes, sir.
Could you just briefly describe for me, please, what is exhibit 22?
It is a training bulletin that's sent out to all members of the Mass State Police.
All right, and specifically, this particular training bulletin contained in Respondents 22 is Training Bulletin 2017-19?
Correct.
Does that title for that training bulletin indicate it was issued in the year 2017?
Yes.
All right, and the title of the particular training bulletin is Use of Communication Devices?
Correct.
All right, and just for completion here, is Exhibit 23 second issuance of that training bulletin with a 2018 date?
It is.
And is the content of those essentially identical, sir?
They are.
All right. Are these documents examples of notifications put out by the department to all employees, alerting them to specific legal policy and other developments as they arise?
Yes.
The two bulletins here together, exhibits 22 and 23, do they inform sworn members of an occasion in which a superior court ordered the production of law enforcement officers' personal smartphones in order to extract discoverable information from them?
Yes.
And specifically discoverable statements by law enforcement contained on personal cell phones in connection with a criminal case?
Yes.
Do they further indicate that that was done because officers had been communicating and therefore making statements about an official investigation on the personal smartphones?
Yes, sir.
In other words, the department was bringing to its employees' attention, specifically directed to members involved in criminal investigations and prosecutions, the discoverability of statements by law enforcement in the form of communications on personal and electronic devices.
Correct.
If you could now refer, sir, to exhibits 24 and 26, 24 through 26, 24, 25, 26. All right, sir. Are you at exhibit 24 to begin?
Yes, sir.
Is that a copy of Article 5 with an effective date of December 6th of 2023?
It is.
And Article 5 is one of the department's rules and regulations, specifically its rules of conduct applicable to all sworn members.
It is.
All right, sir. And with respect to exhibit 25, is that also known as Department Rules and Regulations, Article 6?
Yes.
All right, sir. Specifically with respect to Article, specifically with respect to Exhibit 25, Article 6, this is titled Regulations Establishing Disciplinary Procedures and Temporary Relief from Duty.
Correct.
And these are also applicable to all sworn members of the department as of the effective date of this policy, September 27th, 2023.
Yes, sir.
And finally, sir, Exhibit 26, is that known as Schedule A, or Appendix A, stating the disciplinary guidelines for the department effective as of September 27th, 2023?
It is.
And with respect to the specific charges and specifications that came about as a result of the findings of your investigation, can those be found on the internal charge sheet for Mr. Proctor's trial board and the accompanying charge summary?
Yes, sir.
Can you go to Exhibit 27, please, sir? So the respondents 673 and 674, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Does that appear to be the charge sheet for Trooper Michael Proctor, then Trooper Michael Proctor, for IAS 2024-0014, in other words, your investigation, sir?
Yes.
Madam Commissioner, at this time, I'd like to ask Detective Lieutenant Dwyer a series of questions regarding Respondent's Exhibit 35, and specifically the 3 clips that I provided to the Commission. So I just wanted to ask for clips A, B, and C to be queued up if possible. Thank you.
Sorry, are you going to play them in their entirety?
They will be played in their entirety. There is no skipping.
Thank you. Mr. Quinn has
They-
kindly kept what of the time?
They total less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
If it's the Commission's inclination, I'd suggest playing through those clips and then breaking for lunch if that's
It's up to
acceptable.
you. We could do one, then questioning the one, but we do need to stop at 1 o'clock.
Thank you. I won't be sure to end before 1 o'clock. Before we play clip A from Exhibit 35, Detective Lieutenant Dwyer, if I could just ask you, sir, Following the termination of the appellant from the department, did you have occasion to learn of public interviews that he provided to news outlets that were broadcast in June of this year?
Yes,
Was one of them the ABC News program 2020?
yes,
And did that air on June 17th?
I believe so.
Okay. With respect to this particular news interview that was broadcast at that time, Exhibit 35 for the record, this took place after your report was concluded, after the trial board was concluded, and after Mr. Proctor was terminated. Is that correct?
Correct.
There is no sense in which any of this, because it postdates those events, there's no sense in which any of this directly led to or was part of the disciplinary process that had started with your investigation. Is that correct?
Correct.
These are simply statements by the appellant made publicly after his termination was issued by the court.
Correct.
Was your attention, prior to your testimony here today, sir, was your attention directed to that interview and a series of particular statements made by the appellant during that interview?
It was.
And did you have occasion to review those portions of that interview prior to your testimony?
I did.
May I ask, please, that clip A be played?
The murder mystery just outside of Boston, sparking some explosive accusations against law enforcement.
Do you think Proctor will testify, Karen?
I don't believe so.
Can't get anywhere.
The lead investigator on this case, Michael Proctor, did not take the stand this time around. His highly offensive text messages about Karen Reed, which were obtained from his personal cell phone during a federal investigation, they rocked that first trial.
She's a whack job. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent though, no ass. No nude so far, she's gross.
During the retrial, the defense once again accuses him of running a biased investigation.
You'll learn there's not a single part of this case, folks, not a single part, that he didn't touch, that he didn't direct, that he didn't orchestrate personally. Michael Proctor went far beyond just insulting Karen Reed. He dehumanized this woman.
And while the prosecution condemns Proctor's text messages, they stand firmly by the investigation.
There's not one piece of evidence, not one, that we can look at and say, this was tampered with. This was planted. This was distorted.
Within hours of that first trial ending, Michael Proctor was relieved of duty by the Massachusetts State Police. He was later fired. He sat down for an exclusive interview with us and addressed those text messages, some of which were sent to personal contacts outside of law enforcement.
Who are you writing to? My good buddies that have been friends since first grade. Ken hasn't had a homicide in 20 years. So they're naturally interested, just regrettable messages. But in all the content and the messages, what you don't see is a conspiracy.
What do you see?
I see someone who's caught up in the moment of investigating, a fellow police officer and just saying inappropriate things.
Can you see why people called you sexist and misogynist?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can 100% understand why.
Commissioner, at this time, if we could have clip B played, also from Exhibit 35.
I mean, I think one of the texts that you sent about Karen Reed is that you said, hopefully she kills herself. You texted this to your sister. That seems incredibly unprofessional for a homicide investigator speaking about his suspect.
It was made in jest. It's a figure of speech. Hopefully she kills herself like that.
That's a figure of speech? Do you use that commonly?
Yes. Not commonly, but it's a figure of speech I made in jest. It wasn't literally, I hope she kills herself.
At what point did you develop such strong negative feelings about Karen Reed that you would say things like, hopefully she kills herself, or calling her the C word?
Those feelings developed as the case went on.
I mean, can you see how people might think, he was caught in this instance
Yeah.
speaking about a suspect in this way, maybe it's happened in other cases as well.
I 100% understand why people would think that. But when you have, a fellow police officer around my age, 2 kids of his own, it generates an emotion. And I expressed those emotions in a negative way, which I shouldn't have. I shouldn't even, been texting my friends anything.
Do you want to put the last?
Yes, please, if we could have one final clip, it's only, it's less than 30 seconds.
And the defense never misses an opportunity to mention the name Michael Proctor, the lead investigator on this case.
This case carries a malignancy, a cancer that cannot be cut out, a cancer that cannot be cured. And that cancer has a name. His name is Michael Proctor.
It is not hard to conclude that Michael Proctor's words provided the jury with reasonable doubt in the first trial.
That concludes the clips that I called special attention to, the Commission's special attention. With respect to Exhibit 35, I'm satisfied to suspend here for lunch if the Commission so directs.
All right, it's 12:53 PM, so return at 1:45 PM.
With the Commission's permission, I'd like to return Exhibit 14 to Council's finding. Thanks.
It's Curly Show in a matter of minutes. So I'm just going to put that feed up in a second here. And we're on standby. I'm not sure if they're at lunch or if that hearing is over for Michael Proctor. We've still got the feed up, so we could come back to that. We'll see. If we do end this stream at any point today and they do come back up, we'll be back live too. So we'll be right back. Just chill out for a minute.
Caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens
To the Grace Curley Show, 844-500-4242. Thanks for joining us. I'm Taylor Cormier, Grace's producer, and one of her major fill-ins during her maternity leave. Mike Crawford from the Young Jerks joins us now, and we're talking about the Michael Proctor Civil Service Commission hearing that's going on today. Former Trooper Proctor is trying to get his job back, and that's a laughable notion to a lot of people, including, I would imagine, you, Mike. This is pretty ridiculous what's going on.
It is ridiculous, but it's also concerning, because what if this guy actually does get his job back? But what it was today was probably the best day ever for Karen Reed, who's probably watching at home. and having the best day ever watching this and knowing that they're using his media clips against him. They're using everything that he said in the first trial against him today. And it's the Mass State Police, you know, on the stand against Michael Proctor. And this state police, you know, this guy was great today. He was professional, on point. He has hair. He's just the internal affairs, you know, detective here, Kevin Dwyer. He was on the stand all day, and it was him and just video clips, audio of Michael Proctor saying the most repulsive things over and over again, with Michael Proctor surrounded by lawyers sitting there. It was something to see today. This was just, everybody is watching this. Everyone's into it. It's just like the gang is back together, and it's karma. It's deja vu, and it's just reversal. Now Michael is now in the hot seat. Not Karen Reed, Michael Proctor.
Oh, he's on the stand now after the lunch break?
No, I said the hot seat.
Okay,
you know,
I get it.
He's sitting where Karen wants that sat.
Right.
He's sitting there watching them play his clips like they used to play Karen's clips, you know? So it's just deja vu to me to see him in the hot seat now. He's
So
the guy.
I understand about playing. I understand about playing back, you know, the cuts from the first trial, reading all the text messages and all of the shoddy police work that wasn't done at Fairview Road. But what are they playing back from his interview clips with a lot of the news outlets?
His response basically about what he said. You know, it's just the old, the apologies, but not really an apology. It's the old news clips that he went on his apology tour, and they're just playing back, you know, what his response about what he did, you know. So it's using his own words against him, which is, it's surreal to watch it. It really is. And to see him sit there and he's taking all these notes. He's taken more notes for this than he took for John O'Keefe. So.
Wow. So Lieutenant Dwyer has been, you know, playing a lot of these clips back to the commission hearing, the panelists in the room. Does it seem that the large focus is on what he said? Is the onus of his firing being put on what he said, or is it his actions as the lead investigator on this case?
Both. They've played a lot of his words, obviously, in his text, but they've gone through with, you know, who he sent the text to. They also went through his bias. They also went through the incident where he was drinking on the job at lunch with you know, one of the McAlberts, you know, the police officer from Canton who lost his gun and his badge, and he got investigated. So they went through quite a bit of Michael Proctor's greatest hits, let's put it that way. And a lot of it we just heard it back over and over again, the audio of Michael Proctor. And it's interesting because there's a woman who's, you know, kind of serving as, I would say, as like the administrator or the judge of the proceeding. And so I'm just wondering how she's hearing all this, watching him, you know, use that C word over and over again.
Yeah, despicable. Was there a statement entered on Proctor's behalf today, or is that going to take place tomorrow as far as the basis for his appeal?
Yeah, I'm not even sure where the next hearing is. If it is tomorrow, that'll be interesting to see. I'll want to find out today. But yeah, no, that hasn't happened yet. You know, basically there's just this one internal affairs officer who's been on the stand, and they're just playing back the clips of Michael Proctor and asking him questions about it and asking him about his investigation of Michael Proctor too. And it's really interesting to watch this internal affairs from the Mass State Police, Kevin Dwyer, where he has no bias. He has his tone hasn't changed. He hasn't gotten upset. It's so telling to see him testify after we all watched Buchanan and Michael Proctor, and the difference between a professional Mass State Police officer with no agenda, with no dog in the fight, and to watch, you know, compared to the other two guys who testified in the Karen Reed defense, and their tone and the way that they responded to Alan Jackson, for instance, totally different than this Mass State Police officer today.
Do you see a reality in which Michael Proctor gets his job back?
It's possible. I mean, this is a civil hearing. We'll see. Civil service. It seems very difficult, and he does seem to have some good representation. I'm guessing the union is probably paying for that. The fact that it's even possible, that's really the scary point at this, situation, is that it is possible. I still don't think it's going to happen. If I had to bet on it, I would bet against him getting his job back. So we have that in our favor.
Right. I mean, he gets the job back, and the bar is extremely low for being, a ranking member in the Massachusetts State Police, never mind a lead investigator. You do the bare minimum or less than the bare minimum in a murder investigation, and there's no reprisal. You get to keep your job and move on to the next case and screw that up for the state.
Yeah, that'd be the question, is if he did get his job back, what would he do? I don't think they would actually have him handle any cases, because every case that he's touched, like the Miles King case, that's, guys out on bail for murder right now, a lot to do with Michael Proctor. So there's several Brian Walsh case, several other cases. So I have a feeling he would just sit in an office doing nothing for the rest of his life. But it shows how limited his job options are right now, because who would put themselves, if you had any types of job options, you would not put yourself on television today and to take all of that once again to remind everybody what you said in public. He's really got no options. So this is he's got nothing left to lose.
Yeah, this was all just refreshing the memory of everybody. This was all made on his personal cell phone. It wasn't a state issued cell phone. I don't even know if they do get state issued cell phones. Every cop that I know, they use their own personal cell phone for police matters, but that's just part and parcel to the job, I guess. But this is the stuff he was saying, and not just about Karen Reed, about the medical examiner, about Karen Reed's defense witness, her attorneys, just really despicable stuff, and it has such an impact, as we were talking about at the start of the show. The perception that the public has of the police. They don't, he gets his job back, and he starts approaching your car. You're bringing out your phone to record him.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, today they, like you said, they played where Alan Jackson was talking about. I'm so excited that Alan Jackson's coming on Howie Carr on Thursday. I have to say that at 2 p.m. We're all so excited about this, and especially after today, because they were playing the Alan Jackson clips where Alan Jackson was saying to Michael Proctor, "You made your decision that Karen Reed was guilty immediately," and these texts show it, and they show the bias that you, without really investigating this, with only having talking to the Alberts, your friends, you made the decision that she was guilty right away. So there's a real bias to that he immediately assumed that she was guilty without any real investigation or evidence.
Right. If I were at that hearing today, that's, I think, what I would be focusing on. The text messages, that's great for shock value.
That's correct.
And it shows you just, how, what his frame of mind was, and how dead set he was on trying to hang Karen Reed in a figurative manner, also wishing death upon her by her own hand, not to mention that, but also just the discrepancies that he made in his investigation, not trying to get a warrant for 34 Fairview, not trying to interview people that he had associations with, meeting with people that he did have associations with that could have been suspects off the books. Just so many missteps here that even if you throw out the text messages, Mike, would you agree that that's just grounds for firing on its own?
Absolutely. Imagine if Karen actually did this and she got away with it because he didn't take a picture of the car when it got towed. I mean, so many things like that you just mentioned, and I've just brought up another one. And so it was, we're going to frame her. We don't need to investigate this. We don't need to collect all the evidence. We don't need to take pictures. We don't need to do anything. Karen Reed is guilty. I say so, and that's it. And that's really at the heart of why I don't think Michael Proctor will get his job back. I think whoever is deciding this is going to see that. And I think that was heard today. And I think, like you said, the sensational stuff sets it up, his mindset. But in the end, it's really about who wants to face a police officer that doesn't give you a fair shot based on the evidence.
Right. And you did break a little bit of news, Mike, that we're going to have Alan Jackson on the Howie Carr Show this Thursday at 2 o'clock. And he's also going to be joined in studio by none other than Karen Reed with Howie Carr, 2 o'clock this Thursday.
Wow.
So
See,
don't want to miss
crap,
that.
I didn't know that. Karen Reed's going to be on too?
Yep,
Wow.
she's going to be here in studio with Howie and her defense attorney, Alan Jackson. And I think we've got the whole hour with them. I could be speaking at a school, but I think the whole hour has been blocked off to talk with Karen and Alan Jackson. What would you want to know from Karen Reed? I mean, she's gone through 2 trials, and she's moving on with her life or trying to do so. What do you think one question you would have for her is, Mike Crawford?
I want to know what comes next for Karen Reed. What's the rest of her life going to be? Does she even know? I'm sure she's thinking about it. But that's, for me personally, I'm just interested to see what Karen Reed decides to do next.
All right, we may get an answer on that on Thursday, and also I do want to put out a bit of a tease. Additional to that interview, there will be a special announcement by Howie Carr this Thursday in conjunction with that interview. I can't reveal what that is yet, but it'll be up on the website. It'll be all over the place. It's big news, and people are going to be very excited by it, Mike. So thanks for coming on. People can follow you at the Young Jerks on Twitter, on X, Jerks with a U. Thank you so much, Mike. We'll speak with you soon. 844-500-4242. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Grace Curley Show. More of The Grace Curley Show up next.
This hour of The Grace Curley Show is brought to you by Local Silver